We're live from San Diego, Jack Murphy Stadium. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Washington Redskins against the San Diego Chargers. Hello again, everyone. This is Frank Gifford, along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith, and this ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Miller High Life. The best beer for the best time of the day. Welcome to Miller Time. And by ColecoVision, the expandable video game system. By Chevrolet, official U.S. cars and trucks of the 14th Olympic Winter Games. Chevrolet and you taking charge. And by the home computer from Texas Instruments. It can give your kids a head start in school that can last a lifetime. A sellout crowd, as it always is, here in San Diego. And the San Diego Chargers are up against it. Their record 3-5. And, of course, the Washington Redskins trying to do one thing, that is taste the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East. Howard, for the Chargers tonight, it's going to be tough.
That's right, but let's go to the NFC East first to put things in perspective. Washington wants this win, stay hot on the heels of Dallas. They've got a revenge game yet to come against Dallas. Meanwhile, in the AFC West, a dogfight, Denver and the Raiders. But the key point for San Diego, if they don't pull an upset tonight, for them, it's all over. In the meantime, they are injury-riddled. The list of injuries unbelievable. Some of those will see some action tonight. We'll fill you in on that. The key point, Dan Fouts out. And to update the Dan Fouts story right now, live on the field with the great quarterback, there he is, Dandy Don Meredith.
Thank you, Howard. Dan, it's awfully hate to see you this way. I know you hate to be that way. How badly do you feel your shoulder is?
Well, it's a rotator cuff, and they tell me it's the most sensitive part of a thrower's mechanism, and it's very easy to damage again, and they're taking it real slow with me.
Okay, you got a pretty tough team coming in here tonight. Do you see that the San Diego Chargers will maybe do something differently with you not being in there?
Well, I don't know if we'll be able to do much of anything different than we've done all year. We're going to try and throw the ball as much as possible, and hopefully if we can get some running game going, keep the guys off of Ed Luther, and make sure that we can move the ball down the field.
What will you be doing, Dan, down here on the sideline? This is an unfamiliar place for you. What will you do during the game?
I'm going to just try and think the game along with Ed and try and help him out, and if he has any questions that he can draw upon my experience to help him, that's what I'll be doing.
Well, you know, it's Halloween, so some strange things can happen tonight, right? Frank? Boo.
All right. And there are an assortment of masks here in the stadium tonight. And there is a grave concern on the part of San Diego fans that this could be their season. Howard touched on it. And they are going up against a very tough Washington Redskins team, world champions. They are solid all the way. The Redskins will receive, as you see, they are lining up to our left. And we noticed that Mike Nelms will be back there for the Redskins tonight. He missed last week's game against Detroit. Talked to him today. He has a very severely bruised left forearm. But one of the fine return men in the business today. There he is, Mike Nelms. The Chargers, 3-5. If they can win tonight, however, they will only be 2 games behind Denver and the Raiders in the AFC West. And here comes Mike Nelms. Nelms over the 30. Mike Nelms out to the 45-yard line. And this man has been doing it ever since he came down from Canada, and so has this man, Joe Theismann, the leading passer in the NFL, to 8 weeks to play. He trots onto the field, and the man can do it in so many ways. Enthusiastic, a spiritual leader in that huddle. He offers just about everything as we look at the rest of the Skins lineup. John Riggins, he missed last week's game. He's back in there, as did Charlie Brown, and he's also back. First down and 10, the Redskins at their own 45-yard line. John Riggins bowling ahead behind the likes of Russ Grimm and Jeff Bostic and Mark May. And they are big up front, these Redskins. Riggins gets a couple. It'll be second down and 8. Let's take a look at the smaller defensive unit of San Diego. A young defensive unit. They have 2 rookies, inside linebackers, Billy Ray Smith and Mike Green. And they have 2 rookies on the corner in Gilbert and Danny Walters. 4 rookies starting in very important positions for the Chargers. Second down and 8. The Redskins bring it up with 2 tight end offense. Single setback. Their coach, Joe Gibbs, a player early in his career for Don Coryell and coached under Don Coryell of the Chargers. Riggins right side to midfield and more down close to the 48-yard line of San Diego. A pickup of 5. It'll be third down and 3.
Plain truth of the matter is, if anything is to halt the Redskins tonight, it looks like it would have to be complacency. And I see no evidence of that from the coaching staff right on down, especially through Joe Theismann.
Third down, long 3. The offensive line, we'll call them 7th because they use 2 tight ends for the Redskins. Averages 264 pounds. The 7-man front, linebackers and down linemen for San Diego, 242 pounds. Theismann just does get it away, and he goes out to Joe Washington. Washington coming off his best game of the Redskin a week ago with 147 yards rushing for the Redskins. It's the Washington first down inside the 40 near the 39-yard line, and we'll look at it from the end zone. Theismann has a sense about football. He's been around a long time. He had to release this. He could feel that pressure coming in, and he was right on target to the little man who works so well out of the backfield. You saw him in our tees. Howard mentioned he can beat you so many ways. He can do it running, he can do it receiving, and he almost thinks intuitively with Joe Theismann. First down, Redskins inside the 40 of the Chargers. Theismann, play action to Wiggins. Wide open over the middle. This is Virgil C. Touchdown, Redskins. Virgil C. in the lineup. No one picked him up. Coming across the middle, wide open. 39-yard touchdown strike by Joe Theismann.
This is one of the most amazing teams in terms of human spirit I have ever seen in the National Football League. They think collectively, they think together, they have a high intelligence quotient as a team. And Joe Gibbs has proved himself an extraordinary coach in the freedom he gives the players. And you don't see any complacency, do you?
Mosley drills it through. That was Virgil C.'s second reception of the season. And the third-year man from Troy State has the Redskins out on top. 7-0. We'll be back in a moment. Over there, Dandywin. Ho, 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 ho. They couldn't hurt. The Goblins are out on Halloween night, and the Redskins are the Goblins thus far.
It could be.
4 plays.
You look better
on their own 45-yard line. They lead 7-0.
What do you mean, man? He got that mask on, too.
Ernest Jackson is deep. This one goes short. And is taken down there. This is Bruce Laird. Bruce Laird was hoping it would go out of bounds. He would get the penalty, and the Redskins would have to kick over. It stayed in bounds, and San Diego down 7-0 will start deep in their own territory, inside their own 15, led by Ed Luther, 33 of 63, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions thus far this season.
Well, if there is one advantage as you look at the Chargers' backs and receivers that Luther has over the great man, Fouts, it's his mobility. He's going to need it tonight.
First down and 10. The ball near the 14-yard line. Call it the 13-yard line. The Chargers deep in their own territory. Young quarterback, Sherman Smith, is the setback, and this is Sherman Smith. Muncie is not starting, as Sherman Smith, who had a big game against Denver last week, averaging a little over 5 yards a pop, carried it 10 times, had 57 yards against Denver. He gets a quick 5 and moves it out to about the 18-yard line.
I don't guess anybody wants to tell me how Washington got 7 points, do they?
It only took 4 plays.
Well, I know,
Riggins twice, then the sideline hitch to Washington, and then foot to say.
Well, I missed it.
Sherman Smith, and there is another big opening, and Smith is up perhaps for the first down near the 24-yard line. They needed to get just over the 23. Sherman Smith, of course, acquired at the beginning of this season from Seattle. He had some good years up in Seattle. Seattle had originally traded him this year to Kansas City. When he got to Kansas City, the doctor said, no, you've got a problem with your spinal cord opening. He went back to his own doctor. The doctor said, you're just fine. San Diego picked him up, and with Muncie on the bench with a pulled groin muscle, not expected to see too much action tonight. The Chargers are going with Sherman Smith. Smith got the first down. Luther is back. Tries to get it to Eric Sievers. Incomplete. Last week, in the first start of his career, Ed Luther, a 4-year man out of San Jose State, was 22 of 48, 193 yards, but he had 3 interceptions. He also had a bunch of drop passes.
Frank, I was surprised to see Sievers in there on first down. Don Coryell told us in our production meeting this morning that Eric wasn't 100% and would see action primarily in short yardage situations.
It's funny, I was down on the sideline, everybody said was hurt. They said, well, they're not really as hurt as they were this morning, so we might see most everybody but Fouts.
Sherman Smith. And the big man, and he is big, at 6'4", 225, gets out over the 25, goes to the 27-yard line for a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Curtis Stewart bending Sherman Smith. I think one of the problems in taking the ball from Ed Luther, the receivers have for the Chargers, and it was pointed out rather well, I thought, last week by John Brody, who watched that game, and Denby says he throws it so much harder than Fouts. And when you work so many years with a quarterback like Dan Fouts, when they change to somebody who throws it as hard as Luther, it becomes a little bit difficult. 3rd down and 6. Luther. Good shot. It goes to Wes Chandler, incomplete.
Well, that was an example again, though, Frank. The ball was out there, but again, it was one of those things you had to stop, come back for. So it was not the kind of pass that you would really like to see in that situation, where the receiver can take it, then step on out of bounds. He had to stop and come back for it. You know, throwing that ball real hard. Craig Morton did that when he came into our camp. And being the kind of guy I am, of course, I kept telling him, throw it harder. Craig, throw that ball really hard, you know.
Work your go on your road to Denver, huh?
Yeah, so you can throw that ball harder than that, Craig. Come on now.
Murray Gifford, averaging a little over 43 yards a punt, is back on 4th down for San Diego. It's a beauty. Takes Nouns way back to the 20-yard line. Flag is down. Could have a clip. And Nouns working his way out over the 30-yard line.
That Murray Buford didn't kick enough times last year to even qualify for the, I guess, the punting championship. He kicked more than 4 times last week in Denver, the most he's kicked since he's been with San Diego.
He only kicked 21 times last year, and that mainly is because the San Diego offense a year ago just kept the football on offense. He'd have got 3 points to 6.
Yeah, I did tell you he's from Mount Pleasant, Texas, too, didn't I? Mm-hmm. It's 15 miles from Mount Pleasant.
Now we're going to sort this out. Our referee tonight, Fred Silva, here he is.
Offense, number 55. Illegal, downfield. Illegal block, above the waist, number 58, Washington, replay.
So we're going to have offsets. We're going to kick it over again, and that, I would think, would be rather fortunate for Washington, because Buford got the punt off of about 52 yards, even though Nelms was able to bring it back.
Let's see a lot of those tonight.
We really will.
Yeah.
There are some really weirdos out in that stand.
Some strange folks in this parking lot tonight.
Halloween.
They're haunting. That's the net average for Maury Buford. That's the punt plus the return. Mike Nelms. Look at that big bandage he's wearing and padding he's wearing on the left arm. Gifford, not half the kick that he had last time, and it takes a very definite Washington bounce. And it bounces out of bounds near the 42-yard line. So the Redskins will have good field position once again. And from almost this identical spot, their first possession, it took 4 plays to get into the end zone. We'll be back in San Diego in a moment. He is available. He was hit in the back 2 weeks ago against New England, and he stretched out so much he pulled a groin, missed Denver last week.
He calls it Muncie night football. He's had some great nights on Monday nights.
The Redskins, 1st down and 10, the ball just over their own 41-yard line. John Riggins, right side, and John Riggins moving behind George Stark. A pickup about 5 over the 45, close to the 47-yard line. Gary Johnson in pursuit.
You mentioned George Stark, a veteran out of Columbia University. Very upset today because last Saturday, Holy Cross 77, Columbia 28. And George can't live pleasantly with that kind of thing for his alma mater.
Columbia's been working too much on their offense.
2nd down and 5. Theismann fires it in low to Charlie Brown. He had to come back for it on a diving catch, and I think he might be just short of the 1st down. It's going to be very close.
It doesn't matter where you throw the ball at Charlie Brown, he's going to get it. Look at his arms. The reach. The arm, 72 inches. Can tie his shoelaces without bending over. That's the secret.
Wait a minute.
Hey, I'm telling you, the man is incredible.
He has short legs. That's what it is.
A Bobby Beathard special. 8th round draft choice. South Carolina State. A whole story attaching to how Beathard found him. Scouted him. Got him. 8th round. And a super player.
You know, Dexter Klingsky out in Dallas and Angelo King. He was telling me today we're all teammates of his down there. That's a pretty good little group of players on one play.
He's the big play man for the Redskins. He had some incredible catches a year ago. 10 touchdowns in regular and postseason action. Third down inches. Whoa, I think Riggins had that before he was pounded. It'll be close. He was hit hard by Mike Green, the rookie linebacker, and a good one out of Oklahoma State.
He may not have made that.
It'll be very close once again. Theismann up there looking it over.
Mike Green, they're really pleased with. Frank, talking to Coryell this morning, they got Green and Billy Ray Smith, 2 rookies there in the middle. It's asking a lot of those 2 young guys to. They got a lot of young players on defense. They're just hoping they can hold on long enough for them to.
You're right about Green. He leads the team in tackles.
A couple of inches short, and Joe Gibbs send in the punting unit. Yes, he will. Out it comes.
And Green, an 8th-round draft choice. And interesting, Joe Gibbs taking no chances.
And they are proud of that defensive effort of the Chargers.
Chargers need a little something like that. Get a little spark going here. That early touchdown. Take the wind out of their sail. They need to play. Have good play by everybody tonight.
Chargers do not have James Brooks available for return duty tonight, so you're looking at Dwight Scales out of Grambling to the Rams and the Giants. He's stationed at his own 10-yard line. Jeff Hayes back to punt for Washington. Off the side of Jeff Hayes' foot. And perhaps just what he wanted to do. It's inside the 20, and it dies near the 15-yard line. So the Chargers, without Dan Fouts, without Chuck Muncie thus far, and without James Brooks, will have their second possession. Doorbell, welcome back. Washington Redskins, 6-2 in the season. The Chargers, 3-5. 8:56 remaining in the first quarter. The Redskins scored on their very first possession. It took them 4 plays to get in a Theismann touchdown pass, 39 yards to Virgil Seas. 1st and 10. The Chargers just over their own 15-yard line. This is Sherman Smith on the right side, struggling to just make the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play.
You were really surprised at how well Sherman Smith performed last week against Denver. He came in when Muncie couldn't go. Had 57 yards in 10 attempts. Came to San Diego from Seattle, as I said earlier, this year.
Muncie hasn't worked out for 2 weeks, though this past Saturday he's in uniform, did some running.
And no back offense.
2nd down and 10, and no pressure on Luther. Intercepted. Fires and is picked off by Mark Murphy. 5th interception of the year, and Murphy will be down at the 33-yard line. And that time, Luther put it into the crowd, and I'll tell you, that had some zip on it.
But it just took off. I mean, that thing just zinged on up in there. Went over his receiver several yards. Murphy we'll see come in. He's the one most open, all right.
They had the 5th defensive back in the Redskins. They were playing the zone. Anthony Washington in there. And it was just over the outstretched hands of Rich Malott, the linebacker, right into the arms of Murphy.
Charlie Joyner made a good move to come back and touch him. He's get him down right there.
In the 33-yard line. 1st down and 10. Joe Theismann directing the traffic for Washington. Which puts Riggins over the left side behind Big Joe Jacoby. And he gets his 5 yards again on 1st down.
That's Mark Murphy. Interesting young man. You saw the graphic earlier. Out of Colgate. Just got his master's degree. Now contemplates law school. Signal figure during the players' strike. One of the leaders of the players' union. You can't trifle with that guy. He's got mentality.
2nd down and 5.
Give it to Riggins.
Again, right side, and Riggins works his way down for 1st down yardage, but a flag is down.
Hit somebody in the head with that flag.
That flag has fallen in what is usually going to produce the holding call, and once again it has. A lot of young kids on that defense. They mentioned it earlier. They got 4 rookies in there starting.
And those positions where the rookies are, the 2 inside linebackers, the 2 cornerbacks, maybe the 2 toughest places to play.
That's correct.
Or they challenge them more out
and
there.
And the nose tackle is the 2nd-year player.
They've got 2 or 3 third-year players, but our graphics say we run out of space in there. I mean, we've got a lot of young players over there. Joe Gibbs is certainly aware of that. They'll probably try to take advantage of it. It's interesting to hear Theismann today Every time, every game they play since Joe Gibbs has been there, had a brand new game plan. I don't know what that means.
The Redskins, the top scoring team in the NFL, through 8 games, have a second down and 15 following the penalty. Theismann wants it all, going for Monk.
That could have been a flag right there, but they didn't throw it.
No flag, incompletion. The defensive effort, the rookie out of San Jose State, Gifford, against Art Monk.
The return of Art Monk to this team was critical because of his size, his strength, his speed, his moves. He is a reminder to many of Charlie Taylor, an old hero here at Washington, as you look at the replay. But at the same time, Donnie reminds me more of number 89, Otis Taylor, of that great Kansas City team.
You know that you're opening yourself up for me to get you to tell that Otis Taylor story again about it.
Not again.
Oh, okay.
Third down, 15. Giaquinto, a good receiver in the lineup now for the Redskins. Theismann will run down the sidelines, wisely stepping out of bounds. Hit out of bounds. Gifford, and Theismann punished Bird when he went out of bounds.
Well, he's in Mosley territory.
And we will see Mark Mosley now, 17 of 23 on the year. Was 1 of 3 last week. And he missed one a couple of weeks ago that could have won a game up in Green Bay in that wild when we had 48-47 Green Bay over the Redskins. He has made 17, as I mentioned. The longest, however, has been 42 yards. So this will be his season-long effort. And he will not get it. Off to the right. So the Chargers hold on once again, and they'll get the football back. And they'll get it at their own 26-yard line. 7:13 remaining in the... Colorful as ever. That Andy won. Frank Gifford, Don Meredith, Howard Cosell. And so far, the Chargers have held it to 7. We have Chuck Muncie back in the lineup now for the Chargers. There he is. Went out in the New England game 2 weeks ago, missed all of Denver last week. He's in there in a dual back setup with Sherman Smith. Muncie.
Oh, he likes that. Way to go, Chuck.
And the crowd lets you know that he's back. Bill Grant made the stop, and not until Muncie rolls up close to a first down. He's short perhaps by about a foot, but close enough that they're going to measure.
We've just seen him have really some outstanding games on Monday night. Everybody, look how he holds the ball. We always say that because Chuck has tendencies to fumble a little bit, but he does kind of gear it around. I think he's a terrific all-purpose back.
Oh, he is.
6'2", 220, almost 230 pounds. He's a good receiver.
If they're to have any ground game tonight, they must get it from Muncie. His last 5 Monday night games gained 100 yards every time.
Muncie, he'll have the first down. Moves out close to the 38-yard line for a San Diego first down. 2 consecutive carries by Muncie. He's tough. Don Coryell telling us today, when he got him from New Orleans, he said he didn't know what to expect, but when he came in, the man, one tough football player. And here's another one who was just activated. Tim Fox has been out for several weeks. Reaction action, we don't know.
He has a birthday today, 30 years old, Tim Fox. They're glad to have him just back on the squad because he's, in the cliche of things, he's one of the inspirational type leaders. He goes out there and does some things and people follow him.
First down, Luther's back. Fires out to Joyner, and Joyner will have another San Diego first down at midfield in front of Vernon Dean.
As is inevitable, Frank, if Muncie can move them on the ground, then you'll suddenly find Luther hitting much better on his passes. He'll be opening up the defense.
This man here, this was his 562nd career reception.
Vernon Dean just pushed him out exactly where he wanted to go that time. That one chuck that they're allowed pushed him right out into his route.
Thing about Joyner, he's playing his 140th consecutive game as Luther tries to get in between the zone to Wes Chandler. Unsuccessfully, it'll be second down and 10.
This is not critical. I was talking to Dan. I was asking Fouts. I said, you got Luther out there tonight. Danny, honestly, what is it that he can't do that you can? He says, well, really, it is the old thing about experience, but he has a tendency to lock in on one receiver. And if that guy's covered, then you can't come back and hit somebody else. And so much of this guy's success has been able to read all those receivers where they are and pick the guy that's open.
I don't think anyone that I've ever watched could read it like Dan Fouts. Second down and 10, the ball at midfield. Sherman Smith, right side. Sprint to the sidelines, chased out by Rich Gillott and Neil Okowitz, the 2 linebackers for the Redskins. Gain of about 3. It'll be third down and 7.
You see teams come out sometime and score too easily, and then just all of a sudden kind of go flat, say, hey, we got this thing. Everything's working just great. Washington scores 4 plays, and then the last 2 or 3 times they've...
Yeah, but this is a long game, and I think the spirit on this Washington team, as I indicated earlier, is very special.
Third down and 7. The ball at the Redskins, 47-yard line. Luther is back.
There he is, Winslow.
Kellen Winslow, the big man stays on his feet. Punishing people, and he will punish them.
That's why we said in the tease of the show, Kellen Winslow keeps the weapons going. That is a truly great football player.
He is also big. He weighs about 250, and watch this collision. First of all, he concentrates, gets it into his hands down.
Oh, my gosh. Green says, wait a minute, what is that I just ran into? He comes back and says, come here. I want some more of you guys.
Green is giving up almost 100 pounds.
Bernardine, he got the last time.
First down and 10, the Chargers inside the 28. This could be another pass. That was a lateral, and it was Houlihan, who was a high school quarterback before he was a receiver at Notre Dame, tried to get the pass to Kellen Winslow, incomplete.
Might be one reason they shifted his receiver. That was low and behind him there. You know,
well, it looked like a high school pass.
Hard to do. He's right-handed. They threw it out in the flat with the lateral, and he therefore could throw a forward pass on it, but he had to turn around and get himself balanced. He just never got around in position.
I'm telling you, there's some folks here tonight. Dolly. No, it's not Dolly, is it?
They say California crazy on Halloween. Second down and 10. Muncie in the backfield. This is Muncie. I think the 30-second flag had gone.
Either that or the whole right side moved too early.
Illegal procedure against San Diego, and we can tell you about college football here on ABC coming up on Saturday. 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 Central, 3:30 Pacific. Regional action. It'll be Alabama against LSU. Ray Perkins, Crimson Tide, getting it on with the LSU Tigers. Oklahoma goes against Missouri in a Big 8 showdown. Washington State against Oregon State. That'll be seen here on the West Coast at 3:30. College football, ABC. They're synonymous.
Don't leave out Cortland State against Ithaca.
I think he just ran out of time. Now, I mean, it was not intentional. I mean, I know Frank very well. He wouldn't have done that intentionally. Frank's not that kind of guy.
Might have been.
All being Ithaca.
Okay.
Second down and 15 following the procedure call. Luther looking all the way to Muncie. But Muncie stays on his feet somehow and gets back to the 25-yard line. And Luther made it very tough on Chuck Muncie. He watched him all the way out of the backfield, and that attracted a whole bunch of Redskins. Somehow Muncie worked his way through it.
I thought we were going to see another collision like we saw with Kellen Winslow, because you're right. Ed's watched him all the way. And Chuck just somehow sensed, yeah, you just had to sense those guys around. That's a great move.
Now, you're making those kind of moves. His injury was a pulled groin, and it must be fine because those were tough moves that he just made. It's third down and 8 now for Ed Luther. Chargers down by 7. 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Luther gets it complete. Houlihan. And Houlihan working tonight with Eric Seaver having a very sore ankle. And Houlihan, third-year man out of Notre Dame, gets a San Diego first down.
What you're saying is what Chuck Muncie means to this team. From the moment he's come in, the whole offense has opened up. Luther is hitting better and better on his short shots to receivers. And Frank, you're right. Now he's living by Coriolis, by what he said. Seaver's not in there.
Severs has a very sore ankle. Houlihan, who played a lot against Denver last week, has made two key catches tonight. Muncie again. Muncie. Yeah. Down to the 5-yard line.
It's Muncie night in San Diego.
He has not worked, except only lightly, this past Saturday, as Howard mentioned, in 2 weeks.
There's a fluidity that he has with those big, long strides, and then bury that shoulder, and that's Mark Murphy that tried to pick him up. And Mark...
That's twice he's rattled Murphy now. And Murphy's a big man. Second down and about a yard for the first down. 12 plays now in this drive. Muncie An easy 6. The Chargers on the scoreboard.
We're going to see some strange things here on Halloween night.
They are doing that against the Washington Redskins, number 1 in the NFL through 8 games against the rush. Muncie making it look easy.
Just looked like a little straight-ahead blocking, nothing really big in there. Good job by Mason, the center coming out.
I think Muncie was waiting to get hit.
You know, I think he was, but they had Olkowitz in the middle. And just one-on-one, they did a good job. Moving that thing around. Straight zone block.
Konerska to tie it up. Which he does. And the 3:23 remaining in the first quarter. The San Diego Chargers used 13 plays to get it into the end zone. And the big man, Chuck Muncie. We'll be back in San Diego, where they love the action thus far, in just a moment. And he'll have a lot more than the 39.
Paul Lowe,
tied Paul Lowe's record for San Diego.
Paul now furnishes all the ribs here.
That's right.
Good ribs at this, what do you call that room?
Marvelous man.
Mike Nelms is deep. Konerska hits it, hangs it high. Nelms from the 5-yard line. Nelms upended out over the 20-yard line. And you can almost sense the Chargers, who were, I think, being told by just about everyone they had not a prayer tonight, have got themselves pulled together to play a football game tonight.
Looking at this game in balance from the moment, we'll look at the touchdown again in a moment. But from the moment Mosley missed that field goal, which gave San Diego a lift, and Muncie came in, bang, and look at him pour in there. And look at that blocking by the offensive line.
Against the league's top defense against the rush. First and 10, Riggins, a lateral back to flea flicker. Theismann, Charlie Brown is down there, and he overthrows. Not bad coverage, however, by Danny Walters, the rookie from Arkansas. Theismann would have had to have been almost perfect to get the completion.
What was that Coyell said to us this morning? He said they're getting better. And one of the brightest spots, the continuing improvement of Danny Wallace, who just executed the coverage that Frank described.
Is not a bad call, because what they wound up doing is getting downtown Charlie Brown and Virgil C. on those two rookie cornerbacks, and they had a man-to-man all the way out there.
Second down and 10. Joe Washington comes in. Rick Giaquinto is in. 2 fine receivers working out of the backfield. Monk is in motion. Washington on the ground this time. Washington gets himself about 5. It'll be third down and 5 as he's taken there by free safety Ken Green. Just under 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. We're tied at 7 from San Diego on a beautiful night for football.
For most anything else. That sure is nice.
For haunting, if you're into that.
Oh, I'm not into haunting.
This may be America's most beautiful city. It is just a remarkable place.
They have kind of something like the best year-round climate or something, or whatever the best is. Everybody's got to be best at something.
Third down and 5. Number 25, Washington works well out of the backfield. Looks for the blitz. Theismann has to go deep. He didn't want to throw that. He wanted to throw short for the first down to Washington. He was knocked off at the line of scrimmage, and Danny Walters makes another play in the secondary for San Diego. And the crowd, which watched the San Diego defense riddled throughout the opening few games of the season, is on their feet, cheering their defensive unit.
Danny Walters at 23. Watch Ken Green number 28
comes in to help.
Here.
That's right. The free safety.
But I'll tell you, Walters almost intercepted that ball, didn't he? I didn't think it hit him right in the hand.
Jeff Hayes on to punt for Washington. Dwight Scales is back. Hayes gets off a beautiful towering punt. Takes Scales back inside his own 25. And a hustling Redskins defense, and they do work on their special teams, and they are good. Punt of 49 yards. Only a 3-yard return for the Redskins. Over the last 24 games, only 5 punts have been returned 10 yards or more. They do cover well. Going to Motor City next Monday night.
Going to Detroit.
And then we'll get a look at one of the most exciting youngsters ever to come into this game, I think, Eric Dickerson, when he goes for the Rams against Atlanta 2 weeks from tonight. First down and 10. The Chargers have the football. Their own 26-yard line. Luther, Muncie, line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Eric Hipple had a good game last week against the Bears. I tell you, he's got those Lions and Bears hook it up. They get serious, don't they? Got the Giants coming to town. What do you laugh about, Aaron?
The less said, the better.
Well, that's not nice. They got it going.
I told you. A couple more bricks.
Brick here, brick there.
Second down and 10. Muncie, the single setback. Movement, flags everywhere. Contact, and the whistles blow.
Say this about Dickerson. The Juice has to be watching him closely because Eric's got a shot at breaking Juice's one-season mark.
I'll say this about Dickerson. He's certainly got a fine education. What can I tell you?
False start, offense, number 75.
They don't turn him out of SMU unless they get him a heck of an education. That's all I know.
Andy Gissinger moving on the right side for San Diego.
That's nice. There's two likenesses. It's a lot like old Smiling Frank, doesn't it? Oh, and Howard.
A lot of characters here tonight. They're having a lot of fun, and they're enjoying it thus far. We're tied at 7. 1:36 remaining in the first quarter. San Diego, second down and 15. Luther throws underneath to Severs, and Severs struggles out over the 30 to the 31-yard line, make it the 32, and it'll be third down and 4 for San Diego.
You just used the phrase throws underneath. Luther talking about. In 1980, when Washington pulled a remarkable upset of an apparently superior Charger team, they did it with Theismann throwing underneath the whole game. Interestingly, they haven't used that tactic tonight, and there's going to be a reason. San Diego has changed its defense.
And Washington has much better outside receivers. Clarence Harmon caught 12 passes in that game. Luther, Joyner has the first down. The little man has been doing it for 15 years.
Wonderfully creative offensive pass pattern that time. They didn't have a running back. Put both the offensive backs outside the tackles or ends, and they start setting people in motion. It's hard to cover all that sort of stuff. And old Charlie just slid in right there to the opening. Joyner's one of your favorites, isn't he, Howard?
I was
young man out of Grambling.
I was with Klosterman when he drafted Charlie in the second round to the Houston Oilers, and everybody said, "Who's Joyner?" Well, they found out.
Muncie and Smith are both in there at setbacks on first down and 10. This will be Muncie. Whoa, Muncie rolling around the right side. He cuts back against the grain. Short of a first down by about a foot before Mark Murphy feels the 230 pounds of Muncie once again.
I tell you, that's just terrific power. You've got him coming in. That is Mark Murphy, young Darrell Green. They certainly know that Muncie's back in town.
That's the end of the first quarter. The Chargers have brought their fans to life here in San Diego. We'll be back in a moment. It's been the man tonight, Chuck Muncie, coming off the bench. Don Coryell this morning did not know whether he would be able to play tonight, and he has been the spark plug. The Chargers holding even with the Redskins through the first quarter at 7. Chargers now with a second down and a yard to go. They're inside Redskin territory near the 47-yard line. Sherman Smith has replaced Muncie now as a setback. This is Smith. Chargers have their own flea flicker. Gus Chandler, and right through his fingers. Mark Murphy went up for the interception. I don't know whether he deflected or not.
I think he did, Frank. He just went up and finally knocked it away, so he couldn't catch it.
Either that, Don, or he impeded his vision. I wouldn't be too quick to criticize Chandler on that play.
No, I'm not criticizing. I say, you see, he saw he could intercept it. Look how long he stayed in the air, man. That's a heck of a jump.
I think he did touch it.
Yeah, he knocked it away, I think.
He got a finger on it. He's 6'4", and he does hang up there.
Well, that is pretty.
Yep, he got it. Great play.
Charlie Joyner, meanwhile, would have been open for about a 30-yard pickup. He went down and hooked right up in the middle. He was a safety valve. Luther thought he could get it to Chandler. Right now, it's third down and 1. Muncie is in there, but Sherman Smith will get the first down, and he's inside the 45. First down, Chargers near the 43. First quarter statistics for you?
There they are, and you see how San Diego leads in first downs and leads in total yards And all in all, and in time of possession, San Diego playing with intensity after Washington on its first 4 offensive plays had scored a quick touchdown.
Stats, Don Coryell will tell you, he's outgained every team they played this year, and they're 3-5 into tonight. Joyner's in motion. Muncie right side. Runs into a pile of trouble over there.
Good defensive.
Kaufman, Neil Oklowitz, the middle linebacker, were both there.
Nell Kaufman, number 55, was right in there, too.
I love that little conversation between Chuck and Dexter Manley, the big D.
Mr. D.
What a great player.
Mr. D, he says.
And what a sense of humor.
He does have a good sense of humor, doesn't he? Seeing those guys walk around out there, you just forget. You know, they're not only just weigh a lot, but then they're in great shape. They don't have any excess fat on them.
2nd down and 10 for young Ed Luther. Quick count. Sherman Smith over the middle. He'll have the first down. It's much more inside the 25 for San Diego. Mark Murphy had to make the save again there.
Looked like Rich Malott may have slipped down, the linebacker over the middle, trying to make a cutback. But he was wide open.
They are really cutting up Washington in a manner that you don't normally see.
Well, we're used to seeing these guys do pass blocking really well.
Some of the philosophy there. You saw number 80. That's Kellen Winslow. He not only took his strong safety with him, that being Mark Murphy, or rather Curtis Jordan, but he picked up the linebacker. They should have picked up Smith out of the backfield. First down, San Diego. 23-yard line of Washington, movement at the line. Flags down.
Well, Doug Wilkerson, Don Masick, and Ed White, the two guards in the center there in the middle. There we go. You see these guys pass block an awful lot, but we've seen them open some pretty good holes in that middle tonight, too.
Got a lot of years in those guys.
That's right.
15 for Ed White, 14 for Wilkerson.
False start. Number 11.
That was Ed Luther pulling away early from the center. False start. It'll be first down and 15. Ed Luther looks over the defense and now has the 5th defensive back in. Muncie left side. Wilkerson with a good block for Muncie, and Muncie inside the 20-yard line. He'll get about 10 out of it and bring up a 3rd down and 5. Mark Murphy again defensively there for the Redskins, and Murphy has, I would say, made about 50% of the tackles tonight for Washington.
I'll tell you, Muncie doesn't just run, he rockets. He's averaging better than 5 yards a carry thus far tonight.
Doug Wilkerson, 63, Ed White, 67. They're the guys that kind of open it up. But look at this move, picking up some extra yardage. And I tell you, Mark Murphy, he for sure knows that Muncie's playing tonight, doesn't he?
And I'll tell you, you run that way with a pulled groin.
Oh, it's 2nd down and 5, and JB, James Brooks, is in the lineup. He's in there now with Sherman Smith. Smith, left side. Smith. Up close to the first down, but perhaps a yard short. Charles Mann, the rookie 3rd-round draft pick out of Nevada at Reno, in on the stop of the Redskins.
The interesting thing about this San Diego team, Gift, through all the years, when you see them really executing, you realize that they have the greatest weapons in football, and yet they haven't lived up to it in the record through the years.
Well, it's not their offense, it's the defense. Their offense has averaged over 400 yards a game this season, and they're 3-5. They've led every team statistically. 3rd down and 1.
Those percentages are just for this year.
Brooks. First down, San Diego. Down close to the 11-yard line. He needed to get to the 12, and the crowd loves it. Team racked by injuries. We've dwelt on it, perhaps, and not touched on the fact that the Redskins themselves have had many changes from their Super Bowl championship team. Jarris White on his holdout, fine cornerback. They start a rookie there themselves, Darrell Green. Tony Peters, of course, on his drug involvement charges, suspended. Matt Mendenhall, left camp, the defensive left end. All new positions for the Redskins this year, and they're 6-2 and performing well. Sherman Smith tries to break it back and runs into the pursuing Redskin defense. Maybe a yard. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Important to mention those missing men, because the man they've really missed is Tony Peters. As you know, admitted drug involvement there, and the action that was taken against him by the commissioner obviously had to be taken. While Jarris White is missed, nobody inside of football compares the loss of White to the loss of Tony Peters. And that's been the point of defensive backfield vulnerability in Washington this year.
Chargers again on a long drive. This is the 13th play of this drive. Sherman Smith. Smith fumbles the ball. And
It is Washington recovery.
Washington
Touchback.
takes the ball. That'll be a touchback.
What a horrible
Sherman
break.
Smith came out of the backfield carrying it like a loaf of bread. He never did tuck it away. I thought for a moment he was going to pull it up and try to pass the ball. He never did put this away. Wearing it both hands, it looked like he wanted to throw the ball left-handed. I think it was a pass, and he never did get it tucked away again. There's Mark Murphy hit him, and Monty Coleman covered it. That actually rolled out of the end zone, and in any event, it is a touchback. He was going to throw this ball.
Well, he finally does, but it's not a very good throw.
I would say so. Carrying it loosely, he hit the helmet of Mark Murphy. The ball goes out of the end zone. It's touchback. Washington has the ball at the 20-yard line. You can see the end zone shots. Those are seats that have been taken out, so we have only a little over 49,000 on hand tonight. The stadium seats 52,000, or did until they took those seats out. They're changing the configuration. They will go to 60,000 when the construction is over as they close in the bleacher end of the stadium. First down, 10 Washington following the touchback. This is Riggins. Riggins hit by Gifford, the rookie out of San Jose State, after he gets about 3 yards.
Chargers had been playing with fervor and with intensity, but the loss of that football in that situation may, as it so often does, and look at the turnovers as represented in the two teams' figures this year, may, as it so often does, cause a change of momentum.
Second down and 7. Riggins. Big hole right side, and Riggins short of the first down by less than a yard as Keith Ferguson was in there defensively for San Diego.
This is kind of the first time we've seen Washington settle down. I really do think they scored too quickly. Right, they came back and tried a little razzle-dazzle. They were going to let flea flicker. Now I said, wait a minute, here's how we got here. Let's run Riggins off left, run him off the right. They better run him again. Now
Riggins and Wansley are the setbacks, the short yardage setbacks. Riggins left side, and just brute strength will get the first down for Washington at the 31, and we'll pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
WJLA TV, serving the district, Maryland and Virginia.
John Riggins, and what a year the man had a year ago. Over 500 yards in the regular season, but in the playoffs, 4 games, 610 yards. And, of course, the great Super Bowl effort, 166 yards, 38 attempts. He's in marvelous condition still, even though he was out last week with back problems. On 1st and 10, Charlie Brown in motion. Riggins right side. Big opening for Riggins over the 35 to the 36-yard line as he gets his 5 yards.
On reflection, Don, I think you may be right. They scored so quickly and so easily, as you look at Riggins again in isolation, that it had to have enough. In fact, I think Coach Gibbs was so confident. You remember that 4th down call when he had only an inch to go, and Riggins, send him either side, he's going to get it for you. But no, they punted.
Right. Had a good block that last time of Jeff Bostic on Mike Green.
Walker, the moving tight end. Riggins left side. And Riggins this time held to a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 2 as Mike Green, the rookie inside linebacker from Oklahoma State, made the stop.
Been watching him, Frank, 58, and I'm telling you, he is active out there. We were talking to Coach Coryell this morning. He says, well, you know, he's not very big, not very tall, and he's not very fast, but he's quick, and he makes all the plays.
And he leads the team in tackles.
He is fun to watch. He and you got Billy Ray Smith, both those young guys in the middle. And
Billy Ray Smith, actually, as inside linebacker, their rookie 1st-round draft picked out of Arkansas, is He was a defensive end in college. It's a new spot for him. He's coming along rather slowly. 3rd and 2, wide open. Theismann has...
He went the wrong way.
Wrong way and is picked off. Theismann had his other tight end wide open. Don Warren was wide open. This one was picked off by Danny Walters as Theismann tried to get it in between two defenders.
Well, we told you about Waller's improvement as perceived by Coach Don Coryell. He emphasized it this morning, and it's proving out tonight.
I don't know whether you'll see the tight end on the right side, top of your screen left. You do not see it, but he was absolutely wide open. Theismann was set to deliver it.
Joe will go back and look at that film, won't he, Frank?
He will.
And he had two of them there covered, but you see, that's Green, Warren right in front of him, and it's just, I tell you, that Green covers a lot of ground.
He really
back in there,
does.
too.
He's helping out beautifully.
Trying to get it into Didier, and the Redskins get a turnover. Theismann, his 4th interception of the season. Gives his 4th interception of the season. He had a remarkable string of 161 attempts without an interception. He tried to throw it into double coverage. Was picked off. The Chargers get the football back at their own 28-yard line. Smith and Muncie the setbacks. Muncie turns nothing into something. A gain of about 3. Out close to the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Mel Huffman defensively there for the Redskins. The Redskins just don't turn the football over and give away, take away, and that is you get it back more times than you lose it. They are plus 15. And they have, up until tonight, only turned it over 6 times for the season. 3 on fumbles, 3 on interceptions. Now it's 4. Sherman Smith. He's hit at the line of scrimmage. Ekes out maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 5, and everyone changes on the field. The Redskins bring in their pass defensive unit, and we see extra receivers coming in. Houlihan, a good outside receiver that plays as a tight end. Bobby Duckworth, 2nd-year speedster out of Arkansas. A good receiver is in there, but he's playing tonight with a very sore hip. One of those that was questionable.
Man
down and 5.
Man watching this situation may be number 51, Redskins, the nickel linebacker, Monty Coleman.
Luther, the ball batted away, but a flag is down.
It's going to be a funny one because that flag, it looked
Almost after the ball was batted away.
Yeah, it did, but it was downfield, right where Kellen Winslow was, so possibly someone was either interfering with him or vice versa.
Offensive interference. I would suspect the Redskins will let that one go because it'll bring up 4th down and the punting unit for San Diego.
Yeah, if it was Kellen said, wait, now get off me. Hey, hold it. He might have said something he shouldn't.
Pass interference. No number.
No number, I see.
I suspect it might have been number 80. He is upset. That's Kellen Winslow. Murray Buford on to punt. Nelms is deep for Washington. Buford gets another beauty. Nelms from the 20-yard line. And he's in trouble there. He's warmed under at the 23-yard line. 46-yard effort by Gifford. And a first down and 10 for the Redskins. They'll have it at their own 23-yard line. 4:58 remaining in the first half from San Diego. Working radio for the Washington Network. That's Sonny Jurgensen, top of your screen in the red shirt. If you have color, we hope you do. Sam Huff with his hand in front of his face down in the lower part. Of course, Sam earning his honors both as a Giant and a Redskin. First down 10, the Redskins at their own 23-yard line. Munt splits to the right. Walker, slot left. Play action by Theismann. Theismann, down he goes, out over the 25-yard line. Gain of about 3 as Lyndon King made sure that Joey stopped it right there.
You know, Sam looks wonderfully well.
He's in great shape, isn't he? About 15 or 20 pounds lighter than what he played.
Sonny looks like he's in his playing weight, which was always about 20 pounds over. He looks good.
Kilmer and Sonny gave him a lot of thrills to whether or not they'd be available on Sunday. Good thing they weren't parking lot attendants.
But they always had a way of showing up, didn't they?
Always had a way of winning. Second down and 7. Riggins left side. All right. Still has the speed, and he still has the power as Riggins goes for the first down out over the 35, close to the 38 in the arms of Ken Green.
Tackle by number 28, Ken Green.
He's getting a little long in the tooth, but he's in remarkable condition, John Riggins, and he can still make that move off tackle, break it to the outside. We saw him do it up in Green Bay. Done it several times this year. He works best inside, but he can still get to the outside. He was a 9.7 sprinter back in his high school days.
He is superb, too, coming out of the backfield for the pass reception. Namath used to use him beautifully in that vein.
First down 10. Theismann. Monk.
Well set up.
Flanker screen. It was set up beautifully, and Monk will have the first down up close to midfield. The old bird defensively there on the stop. Got a good block from Charlie Brown.
You see that pattern a lot, and the Redskins that time threw it from a rather unusual formation with Charlie Brown on the inside, and Charlie actually was a guy who came down and did make a good block 8 or 10 yards down the field.
This is Redskins football, too.
It really is, Frank. I mean, they're really not.
High percentage.
Yeah, they do that, and I think that's one of the things, not taking a thing away from Theismann, but that's how you don't throw a lot of interceptions either, because you don't have to force the ball a lot.
First down and 10. The Redskins 49-yard line.
Here they come.
Riggins. Not much doing on the left side. He'll get a couple of yards. It'll bring up second and long, second down and 8, and we'll see Joe Washington, the gifted receiver for the Redskins, move into the backfield. Riggins will move over to the bench.
What did Joe have last week? 147 yards rushing.
147 yards rushing.
Man, that's quite a day.
22 attempts. He caught a touchdown pass. He had something like 180 total yards offense.
It's a team by himself.
Actually, he was a #1 draft pick of the Chargers back in 1976. Second and long. Theismann gets the blitz, but he gets the ball away in a hurry. And he had to throw short as Andre Young came in unimpeded. Theismann has that sense about it, and he delivered the ball, but he took a vicious shot.
Well, he had him open, too, it looked like to me. You're right. Andre Young is the guy, when he blitz more than you got blocking, there's nobody going to pick him up, so he wasn't touched. Joe, of course, has got his back away, and whammo.
2-minute warning. Actually, 1:57 remaining here in the first half. Both teams have their full complement of timeouts. Remaining here in the first half, we're tied at 7 from San Diego. Must game for the San Diego Chargers. They know it. Don Coryell said that this morning when he visited with us. They are 3 and 5 AFC West. If they can win tonight, however, they'll be only 2 games behind Denver and the Raiders. And of course, Washington trying to stay close to Dallas. Third down and 8. Theismann, Charlie Brown. He has the first down at the 35-yard line.
Really well thrown, well-timed pass that time.
Charlie Brown does make the big play.
That was not bad defensive coverage. You know, you had Danny Walters was there, and you just really can't expect him to cover him inside and outside. It was well-timed. Charlie Brown made a good move.
First down 10, 35-yard line. Charlie Brown covered by Danny Walters, who had to respect his speed. It was good coverage, but you never know when Charlie Brown is going to let it go on a fly. On first and 10, Theismann back. Goes to Joe Washington, incomplete. And Joe Washington well covered. And a sad note.
Frank, Don, this will affect both of you very much.
Certainly does.
We've just received word that Papa Bear, George Hallis, octogenarian, died tonight, 9:35 p.m. Chicago time. It was inevitable, but anybody who's ever followed sports in this country knows that this has been one of the great pioneers of sport. And in pro football, going back so many years, more than 60 of them, when he began with the Decatur Staleys and the late Chuck Dressen as his quarterback. More later. Frank.
Second down and 10, Redskins. Theismann The blitz was picked up. Charlie Brown, intended receiver, and a great diving deflection by Danny Walters, the rookie from Arkansas.
Oh, is he having a game? You folks are seeing the birth of a very important defensive player in this league tonight.
Maybe an entire unit. We've not seen San Diego play defense because we're always watching them go up and down the field offensively, but that was an outstanding defensive play. Not a badly thrown ball at all. If you'll see, that would have been right in his arms. Good route. Excellent reactions by that young rookie out of Arkansas.
I could just add to what Howard said a moment ago. We've lost a great one. George Hallis, I knew him personally in his late 80s. Nobody fought as hard as he did throughout his entire life. He'll be missed by everyone who has ever been connected with this game. George Hallis dead tonight.
Definitely a committed man. He was an awful lot to a lot of us, right? Oh, no.
On a 3rd down and 10, Art Monk doesn't hold on. It would have been the 1st down. It'll bring up 4th down and decision time for Joe Gibbs.
They're going to try to kick it.
Mark Mosley.
There's another man in Chicago tonight whom you know is crying. And we've spent so much time with him. And indeed, he grew up with me in Brooklyn. We were in high school in the same era. And maybe the man George loved the most, Sidney Luckman, number 42.
Saw him last week, and you're absolutely right. They were great friends.
52-yard effort. Hit the right crossbar. It had the distance. And Mosley has missed twice tonight, once from 43 and now from 52.
And it is Halloween. Strange things happen on Halloween.
58 seconds remaining in the half. The Chargers have 3 timeouts. So Mosley, who has been fairly accurate in the early part of the year, is in a bit of a slump. And all kickers go through that kind of emotion. The diving interception. Joe Theismann had 161 attempts without an interception. That was his 4th interception of the year. We have a 1st down and 10 for the Chargers. They're tied at 7 with the Redskins. 58 seconds remaining in the 1st half. The Chargers have 3 timeouts. Chuck Muncie in the lineup, and we would not suspect he would be there unless Don Coryell was going looking for points. Bobby Duckworth, and is picked off.
He said, you can have it right back.
That's Anthony Washington, who gets the football back for Washington, and that was just a prayer pass by Luther.
That's really it. You kind of wonder why he would do it right then with a little over 50 seconds to go. It's just a haul off and throw. It's not a pass, that's a throw.
I'll tell you, Washington has really helped this Redskins defense that was hurting early in the year. They got him from Pittsburgh right at the start of the season. He plays that nickel back, and he plays it very well for them. Washington now has a 1st down and 10. The ball at their own 22-yard line. 49 seconds remaining in the half. But for Washington, 3 timeouts. You won't see Theismann doing that. He can move it a long way in 50 seconds.
Gosh, dog.
That shot taken there by Don Warren right in the chest, and he came across the middle.
And Miles McPherson is a nickel cornerback that came in there.
If it's possible for him to get up, Warren will, because this is some competitor. When Bobby Beathard tried him out, he ran the 40 in 5 seconds, and everybody said he was too slow. But Beathard stuck with him and lied about his speed. Told Coach Gibbs it's 4.8. Coach Gibbs tied him, and
they continue to work with Don Warren, and as you can see, he's in considerable pain. We'll be back, hopefully, with a full report on Don Warren's condition after this message from the National Football League. To the National Football League, Hall of Famer Sonny Jurgensen. Nobody did it better than he did. Don Warren, as you can see, up on his own feet.
Now, just to finish that story, Coach Gibbs timed Don Warren as you look again at that hit and discovered that, yes, it was 5 seconds for the 40, but he told his general manager, Bobby Beathard, you were right. When a guy is a competitor like that, the seconds don't matter.
2nd down and 10. 2 timeouts now remain for Joe Theismann and his Redskins. Theismann has the first down, stops the clock, saves the timeout. The Redskins will have the ball just inside their own 35-yard line. 36 seconds remaining in the half.
The aim obvious, use that clock, get to field goal position, which San Diego mistakenly didn't try to do.
We've seen Theismann on a kind of a little he starts back on a rollout these last two plays. It does give him some time to throw, but it also eats up a little time. Let's see if he does it again.
The man he likes to get it to, the high percentage, is Joe Washington. He can throw short to him. But this time, he gets Charlie Brown over the middle at midfield. And he'll have another first down, and Theismann will stop the clock again with one timeout remaining and 29 seconds on the clock. Charlie Brown took it straight down, broke it over on a little hook in, and gets the first down at the 49-yard line of San Diego. Don Warren, where it is, he had the wind knocked out of him. That shot by Miles McPherson, and we can understand why.
You easily figure that one out.
Theismann ended the night 61.4%, 17 touchdowns. Only Glenn Dickey had thrown more. He had 18 after 8 games. And he got his 4th interception tonight. But he is the leader of this offensive unit.
And even though it's Halloween, this thing still stands. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
Is Halloween like Halloween?
Halloween, they're close. It's trick-or-treat night, you know? Did I say Halloween or what I say?
It doesn't matter. If you say it, that's the way we call it.
Oh, good. Tell that lady to put her mask back on.
Did you trick-or-treat at both houses in Mount Vernon?
Yeah, we did all of them. That was kind of fun, though. I was all getting scared at Halloween. I didn't like to go out. Everybody was all dressed up. I don't like clowns too much. People hiding behind masks and things. It always scared me.
29 seconds remaining in the half. The Redskins down to one timeout. They have a first down and 10. The ball at the Chargers' 49-yard line. Gifford in motion. Theismann.
That's a nice throw. I can't believe that.
Somewhere in the general area of Art Monk, but Ken Green was back there, and Danny Walters almost got another interception.
You know, I think Joe may have been trying to throw that over everybody and didn't realize how far it was downfield, because he certainly was not trying to hit Monk, was he? Well, heck, who knows? It's a long way from here down there.
Joe said something rather revealing today when we talked with him. He said, you know, when I go back to pass, he said, my little receivers, the Smurfs as they call them, Alvin Garrett, Charlie Brown, Virgil C., they don't even see him. But he says, well, I don't see them either.
Nor does he. He said, I like a small nose guy.
He's very complimentary of his offensive line. How smart those guys were.
Second down and 10. Redskins showing a lot of moves. Theismann, Monk holds on this time, and he's down to the 27-yard line. And Theismann uses the final timeout with 14 seconds remaining here at halftime.
All right, let's take a look at what Danny White did yesterday at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. All the quarterback did was throw 5 touchdown passes. There were his stats for the day. First quarter action, Giants leading 7-0. Danny White looking for number 80. You remember 80, Tony Hill from Stanford, 7-7. In the third quarter, the Giants had rallied to 17-17. And Danny White would then open the floodgates. He would throw to the huge tight end, Doug Cosby, and Cosby was on his way, 61 yards to touchdown, and Dallas smothered the Giants 38-20.
5 touchdowns. That tied your record, didn't it, Doc?
Well, it certainly did.
Be humble, but I mean it did. That's quite an effort.
It really was. There's several Cowboy quarterbacks that thrown 5 touchdown passes. I saw that game yesterday, and it's really funny. The Giants came out. We saw them last Monday, and they didn't look like the same team. And I understand. I don't know for sure, but I know that Rutledge was hurt. I haven't heard today. I hope he was not too badly hurt, but he started off, had a good first quarter.
Dislocated knee, Don.
Not good.
14 seconds remaining. No timeouts for Washington. First down and 10. Theismann being very careful. He's well within range of Mosley, and we're going to see Mosley right now with 9 seconds. He was taking one look, and I'll tell you, that's confidence in your coach, Joe Gibbs. He knew that Joe Theismann was not going to complete a pass where the Redskins would get themselves in a position of not being able to get the field goal unit on the team.
But aren't you a little surprised he didn't try to throw one at least in the end zone? If you're going to throw one more time, throw it for the end zone.
43-yard attempt. Mosley has it en route, and this time Mosley, who had missed from 43 to 52, gets it through the uprights, and it looks as though they will move into the halftime locker room with a 3-point lead over San Diego. But San Diego battling, and really battling on defense, surprisingly strong tonight.
That's been the story of the first half, Gifford. San Diego on defense. You don't ordinarily see them playing the kind of defense they played tonight. As Theismann talks with his coach.
Oh, buddy, Jerry Rome he's talking with. Jerry was telling me a couple of weeks ago up in Green Bay that Theismann, he thinks, releases the ball as quickly as any quarterback he's worked with. And in turn today, Theismann was telling me what a big help that he felt Rome was to that.
Well, they've got great coaches under Gibbs. Pettibone, Joe Bugle. Simply superb assistant coaches.
If you watch Theismann, he's upset with himself. He knew he should not have thrown into that double coverage that got him an interception. He also knows that Don Warren was wide open when he looked to the other tight end, Didier. And Joe's hard on himself. He really is. He's a perfectionist. And he'll be back. You can believe that.
He's talking about, Tyler was talking about Rome. He says he takes the number 3 quarterback, Babe Laufenberg, out. He says he throws with him. And the joke around the camp is that if he ever does play, it'll be, you'll have a little tag, Laufenberg, produced by Jerry Rome.
Ernest Jackson is deep for San Diego. Jeff Hayes knuckles it along the ground.
Good kick.
Fielded there by Bruce Laird. And that'll expire the time here in the first half. Hard-hitting football game, a must game for San Diego. The Redskins will be kicking off to the Chargers, who have played surprisingly well, particularly on defense. They trail Washington by 3 points. And most of your experts would tell you that they had little or no chance coming in tonight, as we take a quick glance at Ernest Jackson back there because of the injury to Brooks for the Chargers. So be Jackson, he will wisely stay in the end zone, bringing about the touchback of San Diego. We'll have a first down and 10 at the 20-yard line.
All right, here are the first quarter statistics. At that point, San Diego in control statistically, but not in terms of the score. And then, second half, the statistics evened out and indeed turned Washington's way in total yards, but a couple of breaks determined the first half. That San Diego fumble when they were apparently moving in, and Frank Pickup with the play-by-play.
We're watching Ed Luther tonight in relief of Dan Fouts, out of the game with a very sore shoulder. In case you joined us earlier, we talked to him before the game. He will not be in action tonight. Quincy, however, not expected to play, just got the call on first down, and he rolls for 5 yards out to the 25-yard line. Ed Luther in the first half, the fourth-year man out of San Jose, who really has not played all that much because of the durability of Dan Fouts over the past few years, is 7 of 14 on the night, 88 yards, 2 interceptions, making his second start as a Charger. He started the Denver game a week ago in a loss to Denver, 14-6. And in that game, Luther was 22 of 48, 193 yards and 3 interceptions. Houlihan is the moving tight end for the Chargers as Luther fires it into Winslow in between a pair of Redskin defenders. Rich Malat was there, and Curtis Jordan, and Luther strong-armed it in for the first down out over the 35-yard line. That could mean that you're either throwing it too quickly or you have good mobility.
Or good offensive line. I prefer to think it's the latter. I mentioned that early in the contest.
2 interceptions tonight. He had 3 a week ago. Ed Luther. First down 10, 37-yard line. Charlie Joyner is the motion man for the Chargers as Sherman Smith rolls for 4 yards out over the 40-yard line to bring up a second down and 6.
Going back to those first half breaks, Frank, Washington might have had a score. As you noted, Don Warren was 10 yards past everyone all alone. Theismann didn't see him. And then Luther mistakenly hung out that long pass. That gave Theismann time to move Mosley into field goal position, and Mosley connects.
And, of course, San Diego was on a drive when they had a fumble by Sherman Smith into the end zone for a touchback. Second down and 6, and I'll tell you, Charlie Joyner caught that one. He would have taken some fingers with it.
Sure would have. That's what they call it. Hard ball, a high fast one.
This has been the criticism of Ed Luther, one of them. As opposed to Dan Fouts, Luther really throws that ball hard. And he did have some 8 drops last week in the Denver game. But it really isn't that difficult to catch. It's just when you work with Dan Fouts, as these Charger receivers have for so many years, you get used to that soft touch. Third down and 6. Muncie is in there as a single setback. Luther, Muncie trying to get first down yardage. He was in the arms of Brian Carpenter, the nickelback for the Redskins. I don't think you'll get it.
One of those wonderful examples of Joyner coming down and pretending to try to work his way through the secondary, and it's a great pick. It's really what it is. Joyner picks off the outside linebacker. Muncie's right there. I don't believe he made the first either. Good, hard-nosed tackle. 41, Brian Carpenter.
That'll bring up fourth down, and the punting team has come on for San Diego. Maury Gifford. No, they now bring Gifford back, and they have Luther in. They're going to go. Why not?
And you're right. Why not?
Chargers with a fourth down, less than a yard to go. They're going against the number 1 rushing defense in the NFL. Muncie does it easy to midfield, and he could have popped it for a big one.
If you recall San Diego in this very arena, Jack Murphy Stadium, opening game of the year, Jets 41, San Diego 29. 4 times Joe Walton made that exact call. 3 times it worked for him, and it turned the game the Jets' way. Risk it on fourth down, very short yardage.
Terrific job. Billy Shields, Doug Wilkerson, Don Masick sealed off that right side of the defense. Then he got a good lead block by Sherman White. That was a nice job on offensive line.
James Brooks is in the lineup for San Diego. This is Sherman Smith. And Sherman Smith steps inside the first down marker and gets another Charger first down.
Flag
near the 37-yard line, and a flag is down where we usually get the holding ball. That is going to back San Diego up.
That's going to hurt.
Could be Gissinger there. It is.
Referee once again, Fred Silva, walking it off. Here's the call.
Offense, number 75, holding. First down.
That's 2 holes tonight for Andy Gissinger, the right tackle. I think you'll see it right in the middle of your screen. Gissinger working against Liebenstein. He had a pretty good hold on him. So that'll bring up first down and 20 rather than a first down inside the 40 of the Redskins.
Good play. Oh, that nice play.
And Brooks, who was not expected to play because of a very sore ankle and hamstring, gets back close to the original line of scrimmage, where it'll bring up second down and 11. Darrell Green, the rookie number 1 draft pick out of Texas A&I, defensively for Washington.
But nice play call, as Don said. You don't try to get the whole 20 back at once.
They do so many. This is just a little swing screen pass out. This is a center. You'll see Masick show up out there in the middle. And actually, he had Doug Wilkerson out, too. I didn't see the guard go out there. But they do so many different things offensively here. It's fun to watch this team play.
Brooks is a single setback. Second down and 11. Holahan is the move tight end. Luther had to throw that away. He wanted to go to the big tight end, Kellen Winslow. And Kellen Winslow had attracted 3 skin defenders.
They were a little jammed up down in the receivers that time. Don't know for sure, but someone could have possibly run an incorrect route.
Ed Luther's intent. He's looking over there where the plays are being wig-wagged in. Third down, long 11. The ball close to midfield. Don Coryell always into the game. Intense. No setback whatsoever for the Chargers. Luther with a lot of time.
And he's got
Joyner. And he underthrows Joyner and is picked off. Joyner had moved behind Vernon Dean. Luther underthrows. And, well, if you want to look at that in a positive way, this is probably better than a punt. As the Redskins will get the interception, they will have it inside their own 10-yard line.
A lot of times we'll see a receiver open up this deep down the field, but unless that quarterback has already seen him break and release the ball, nobody has an arm strong enough to get out there.
Bernadine, his 4th interception of the season, and the Redskins start inside their own 10.
He just made the interception. They were chewing up on him earlier in the year. Reason pinched nerve in the neck. Couldn't turn his head. Now he's totally well, and you just saw evidence of it.
Redskins from their own 7-yard line. They send Riggins over the left side, and Riggins works his way to the 10-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down and 8.
Gain of 3 yards.
Woody Lowe, Billy Ray Smith defensively. We look down and check out the defense for San Diego. It remains much as it started, with the 2 rookies on the inside linebacking position, Billy Ray Smith and Mike Green, the 2 rookie cornerbacks, Gil Bird and Danny Walters. And as the defense is improving each week. Riggins will try the right side. Flag is down, and Riggins is down at the line of scrimmage. Keith Ferguson leading the way for the Chargers.
I'll tell you, that's a swarming defense they're developing.
Yeah, they really are. I was interested. He was talking about Louis Kelcher holding against the Redskins there. Louis Kelcher, as many of you know, has been around out here and a big favorite in San Diego. He says, but you know, he is really trimmed down. And really, what does he weigh? He's around 300. Right?
That's right. It was 345, wasn't he?
And that does put a lot of extra pressure.
He was trying to say we can finally weigh him.
Yeah.
The discussion is a holding call against Washington.
Offense. Number 68. Holding. Decline. 3rd down.
Russ Graham holding on the left side, declined because it would have only been the 10-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal line. That would have put the Redskins at their 5-yard line, and they would have had 2nd down from their 5-yard line with 13 to go for the 1st. So the Chargers have declined the penalty to bring up a 3rd down and 7. Washington and Giaquinto, the 2 receiving setbacks, are in the lineup for the Redskins. Monk split way to the left. Giaquinto in motion. Theismann, Charlie Brown, he has the completion out over the 25, gets the Redskins 1st down.
What a big play, and always on the receiving end, or so it seems. Downtown Charlie Brown.
That one really did start. He had really good protection that time, that offensive line. They tried to blitz the safety, and they picked the safety up. Left that secondary with man-to-man coverage, ran a little out pattern by his back, and downtown came right across the middle, and he was wide open.
The 1st down is just over the 28-yard line for the Redskins. 3rd quarter action. Redskins over the Chargers, 10-7. Screen to the flanker. This is Art Monk, and the former Syracuse Mr. Everything, who is a good runner after he gets the ball, is up very close to a 1st down, perhaps half a yard short.
Frank, I see him throw that pattern. The only thing I can see that stops a pattern like that if they've rolled up into a zone. But if they can get that ball out to an Art Monk, they're going to pick up some yards. That's the possession type pass that you throw, 5, 6 yards, and they break it sometimes.
As Frank says, that's Washington football.
Don't turn it over. Keep possession. They've been doing it now ever since Joe Gibbs arrived. Riggins holding. Flag is down. That should be another hold, as Riggins has the yardage for the 1st down. So we've had a couple of flags early here in the 3rd quarter when we had a relatively penalty-free 1st half.
Redskins usually are not penalized very much. They have a
least in the league.
Good record. Are they the least in the league?
They were coming in through 8 games.
That's what I said. They're hardly ever penalized. I knew stuff like that.
Offense, holding. Number 74. 2nd down.
You were right on top of it, didn't you?
I knew that. I'd heard that. I'd heard something about it. Not a lot of penalties. I didn't know they were.
You're as big as that offensive line. It averages 277 pounds, I think, whatever it is, between tackle to tackle. When you throw the tight ends in, you don't lose much. They go to 264 pounds.
Hey, wait a minute. They're the 5th least penalized team in the NFL. Only 43 penalties.
That's what I said.
Okay. 1st or 5th?
Second down, long yardage for the Redskins.
I say.
Monk out of bounds.
No, he's got it.
He was dueling with Danny Walters, and if he went out of bounds in the arms there, or being pushed out of bounds by Danny Walters, it would have been a completion.
That's about from where we are. Scary up here. You see a little double coverage. Monk over here to the bottom of your screen. Good coverage there by Walters. He was with him all the way. He did step out of bounds. I thought he was marking it there, but he was saying that's where he stepped out of bounds. I tell you, they haven't. Walters has been all over him. That guy's going to be a terrific cornerback.
He has had a great game. That kid was a quarterback in high school. He's an all-around athlete.
I can certainly understand that.
He used to throw footballs to Bobby Duckworth. Ready? Third down and 11. Theismann setting up, firing, and is complete. Goes downfield to Art Monk, and Art Monk will have the first down yardage. A little rolling pocket that Theismann can handle so well.
Lyndon King was the linebacker blitzing in there, and I just saw him get hit. I don't know who hit him.
And he's slow getting up.
Art Monk up at the top of your screen. Charlie Brown down at the bottom. Let's just watch it, see what kind of coverage we cut.
57 is Lyndon King. You'll see him get hit.
You know, it was Joe Washington. He just fell down there. That's what it was. But you see Monk up at the top of your screen.
Working right in front of Gifford. First down, Redskins, 44-yard line. Wiggins, single setback. Wiggins met hard by Woody Lowe. Gain of perhaps 2. It'll be second down and 8. Ken Green up there defensively from the free safety, helping Woody Lowe.
Hi.
Less than 10 minutes now.
Well,
We're here in the third quarter.
Hi.
Frankly, I didn't expect the game nearly this active, this tight.
It's nice to see Euchre back in the traveling squad. We haven't seen him very well.
Second down and 8, 47-yard line of the Redskins. Joe Washington is in there. Let's set back. Theismann gets it to Washington, and Woody Lowe reigns all over him in midfield. And Woody Lowe and Joe Washington were battling the moment the ball was snapped. Woody Lowe, good pass defending linebacker for the Chargers.
Seems like to me these Charger defensive players are just in a lot better position to play defense than they've ever been.
Don, your big man is in there, number 74, Louis Kelcher.
They're not booing, they're saying, Louis. Does a lot of extra work here in the San Diego area. They really do love old Louis.
Had a bad knee. Could have been just sheer weight on it. But they'll use him when they go into their four-man prep. They're in it now on a third down and 4.
That's big hands and almost got in there.
Could have another holding call if the flag goes down. Monk spins and twists up there, upended close to a first down. But again, that flag is down. And again against Washington. When a team like Washington starts getting these holding calls, you know that they're being pressured by the defense. And the Chargers are playing perhaps their best defensive game thus far this season.
I can't remember a Charger team playing defense this well. So you got to give Tom Bass some credit.
Speaking with Tom before the game, and he's awfully proud of the young guys. You know, he says they're going to make a lot of the mistakes, same old cliches, but he's really proud of them. All right.
Offense, number 68, holding. Third down.
Russ Graham on the left side. Speaking of proud, you better believe that Billy Ray Smith, for 14 years, and many of them an all-pro for the Baltimore Colts, I believe he's proud of his son. Started every game he played at the University of Arkansas from his freshman season and has been a starter ever since he was taken first round by the Chargers in the draft. Third down, long yardage for Theismann. Theismann, Giaquinto will not get the first down, and the Charger fans love it. Miles McPherson was there defensively as Gifford gets back close to midfield, but it'll bring up 4th down and 5.
Finally ran out. The drive, such as it was, had been engineered on the wings of 2 key 3rd down passes for intermediate distance by Theismann. To Monk and to Charlie Brown, but not this time.
And 3 holding calls.
That's right. The penalties killed him.
As Wes Chandler pressed into duty because of the injuries to James Brooks. Hayes.
Here they come.
He's going to get the first down. Jeff Hayes in a full sprint. And I don't believe this. Jeff Hayes inside the 5 to the 3, 51-yard pickup. And I don't think that was intended to run. He had tremendous pressure. He thought he was going to get it blocked, and he pulled it down and took off.
I think it was, Frank, because they blocked all on the inside. He had to miss one man.
I think you're right, Don, and this is exactly what we were talking about today with Theismann. The freedom that gives his team to think for itself, and that's one of the things makes him a great coach.
Watch how these guys are closing off over here on the left.
Exactly.
And they're coming back to lead. Andre Young, number 49, you're going to see for San Diego in a minute. He runs right by him. He doesn't know that Hayes is there yet. There he was. He said, I can't figure out where this is going. Good hustle, what? Was that Chandler that knocked him down?
First down, goal to go. Riggins, right side. In the arms of Lyndon King. He'll not get in, and that statistic will go in the book, at least thus far for the Redskins, is the longest run from scrimmage they've had this year.
Jeff Hayes will not let them forget it. Can you hear him
And it
now?
was a planned play. We just got word from the bench. So you were exactly right.
I've got a good eye, man. I mean, a really quick eye.
Jeff Hayes has put the Redskins deep into Charger territory. It'll be 2nd down, goal to go.
I was teasing him today. Oh, here we go.
Riggins.
I think he scored, didn't he?
He took everyone with him.
Yeah. I'm tired of this stuff, guys. Let's make some points.
If he didn't,
You've got a scoop.
The Redskins on a drive that began inside their own 10. It involved 3 holding calls, the fake punt, and it wound up with Redskin football, and that is give it to Riggins over the left side, Graham and Jacoby.
And Washington is no longer behind closed door. That's it.
Mosley on for the conversion to extend the Redskin lead. The Redskins have a 17-7 lead. We have 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter from San Diego. Jeff Hayes, a walk-on a year ago. No one really knew who he was, from North Carolina. Won the punting job. He's punting well. And he has just given the Redskins their longest run from scrimmage. And it was a superb call on the part of Joe Gibbs, no question.
The other player.
Dennis Jackson is deep, and Jeff Hayes, of course, kicks off. He gets more distance than Mark Moses, so they use him on the kickoff, and he's obviously a good athlete. He ran the football like a running back. A lot on the line now for the Chargers. They got to get back into this game, and they can write it off for 1983. Whistler fouls the ball. Stays in the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and San Diego will have the ball at the 20-yard line. Saturday, once again, a reminder, college football coming your way. It'll be regional coverage. It begins at 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 Central, and then 3:30 Pacific. Some really exciting games. Alabama, Larry Perkins boys going down there to take on LSU. Oklahoma goes against Missouri in a Big 8 showdown, and Washington State against Oregon State. That game will be seen here on the West Coast at 3:30. College football, as the season begins to wind down, teams being shaken out, bowl bids starting to shape up. First down and 10, 20-yard line. Ed Luther back. Looks for Chandler. He's not open. He dumps it to Muncie. And Muncie got out of the grasp of about 4 Redskins, steps out of bounds after a gain of 1. Well, we were not anticipating seeing Chuck Muncie play much tonight. Now he's starting to limp a little bit.
yeah,
It didn't work out until this past Saturday. He was hurt 2 weeks ago against New England. Even his coach, you look at Don Coryell, did not know how much he could use him tonight, but he was quite a force for them in the first half. He got things moving for them, and he stays in the game now with Sherman Smith on 2nd down and 8. And he'll try again, right side. gain of maybe 1. It'll be 3rd down and 7 now. Tony McGee, who usually is in the Redskins lineup as a pass rusher, can understand why. In 13 years, he's had 107 sacks, most of them with New England. Muncie with just a slight limp coming to the sidelines. We get a whole lot of receivers out there. Kellen Winslow will line up in the slot at the top of your screen, big number 80. There are 4 wide receivers. Luther, Chandler. Nice. Yes, he stays in bounds in midfield. 1st down, San Diego. They just gave him too much room down the sideline, and Ed Luther was able to get it in before Vernon Dean could get back from his own position.
Like he just kind of dropped it into kind of a little double coverage. You see Green got turned a little bit, but he was only covering short. Since they've moved the hash mark, it's not nearly so. Looked like to me that other foot didn't get in there, but I guess he was knocked out. Anyway, threw a little bit to the wide side of the field. And Wes Chandler made another outstanding grab.
Hey, he's playing hurt tonight, too. He was questionable all week. He had
hitting the kidney.
Severely bruised kidney against Denver. Chargers should have introduced their team tonight with a fife and drum.
They were complaining about the Santa Ana winds blowing through.
Duckworth is wide open, and Luther overthrows.
That's too bad. He was open, too, wasn't he?
That was Bobby Duckworth. Now, he's 6'3". He's working against Darrell Green, who is 5'8" over in that corner, and they had man coverage on it.
That Darrell Green is another rapidly developing star. World-class speed. You've heard us talk about him, and despite the fact there's the matchup Frank was talking about, but this kid Green is some leaper.
I tell you, Duckworth put a little move on Green right there.
Yes, he beat him that jump.
Yeah.
2nd down and 10, the ball at midfield. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Luther and Vernon Dean could have had his 2nd interception of the night, or rather, this was Curtis Jordan.
Boy, he sure could have. Kellen Winslow hadn't even turned around. It's such a funny thing to sit up here and feel like saying, boy, if San Diego's offense can do something now, it's usually the other way around. Can't their defense stop anybody? But this is a time for that offense to come to the front.
Yeah, Luther has shown so much potential over 4 years, but what a spot to come into, replacing Dan Fouts, who had directed the Chargers to 11 consecutive games in which they gained over 400 yards.
Last week's first time they haven't scored a touchdown in years.
3rd down and 10.
He's got him if he doesn't get it picked off.
And like that, Mark Murphy. Chargers had an out and down move. Murphy was just roaming deep downfield. He just sized it up, read Ed Luther all the way, and picks it off. And this is the man that, quite frankly, this team really is not the same ball club without Dan.
Might have been the best example of what Fouts said earlier. Let's look at, see Ed, his head's right over there, a little down out. Looked at him all the way. What he didn't look at was Mark Murphy roaming center field back there. And there he goes.
Well, the Redskins, they live by the turnover. They don't give up many. They get it back. They'll have a 1st and 10. The ball at their own 42-yard line. They have 4:37 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the Redskins on top. Back at Jack Murphy Stadium. San Diego Chargers 3-5. They trail in the AFC West, both Denver and the Raiders. They have a 6-3 mark. If they pull out a win tonight, they'd only be 2 behind, but they're struggling as Riggins goes right side on 1st down for the Redskins.
Number 44.
Surges for about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
This team, San Diego, is not quitting.
Grade.
They've played a surprising game defensively, but there is something about this Redskin team. They won the Super Bowl, and so many still thought they were a fluke, but they're not. There's a togetherness about this team.
I'll tell you, there's an effectiveness, too. They
done right.
4th in the NFL in offense. They're ranked 6th overall defensively. Big hole for Riggins to midfield. Short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Pick up a 6 yards.
John, that's a good enough average for the kind of work he does. So he'll come out now as the Redskins get themselves into a situation where they can think both run or pass. They bring in Joe Washington, Nick Giaquinto. It's third down and a long 2. Giaquinto, number 30, sets up right in front of Joe Washington. Now he motions. Theismann has Giaquinto. He has the first down yardage. Little high percentage pass gets the first down at the 45-yard line of the Chargers.
Well, you knew that was coming. He's used Giaquinto that way all season long. That percentage of third down and 2 conversions this season in the statistics, better than 70%. We showed you that earlier. This is Washington Redskins football.
Giaquinto's been around. I'll tell you, he came out of the University of Connecticut. Good athlete. Don Shula recognized that. He used him as a receiver. But he was cut by the Jets. He was cut by the Giants. He was cut by Ottawa. Let go by Miami. And he's been a contributor to the Redskins this year. An amazing one. Play action on first down for Theismann. He wants a quick one. Tries to get it with Art Monk. Good coverage on Art Monk. Gil Bird staying with him all the way.
It's one of those type patterns that you say, well, that's completable, but it would have taken a terrifically accurate throw, and not one of those that you had to lay out there. You had to drill that one for a way. He didn't have much room to work. Art Gill was like, he was the number 1 pick, what, the 5th? He was the 1C, they call it, like the 5th player pick or something like that. He and Billy Ray Smith had been, Frank, I think, mentioned, have been starters since the first minicamp when they got down here. So those guys we're going to see for a long time.
Washington single set back to the Redskins. Second down and 10. Monk is in motion. Joe Washington. This time he tried to get back against the grain, and Ken Green on his free safety spot was there, taking Washington just about at the line of scrimmage.
Well, again, a third down situation. And Theismann's productivity in third down situations this season has been amazing.
Again, the crowd is not booing. That is for Louis Kelcher, where they go Lou, Lou, Lou. And Louis rumbles in. Big number 74. Joe Gibbs, who has just called the play. A 3rd and 9 call. Charlie Brown, and this play has gotten the Redskins out of trouble several times tonight. Really, not bad coverage, but Theismann and Charlie Brown have got it worked out so well.
You see those arms go up?
He has. They open up that middle. We'll see Charlie Brown from the top of your screen kind of come in to the middle of this. But it starts off, as we say so many times, look, there's nobody back there with Joe. Joe's got good drop, good 7.5 up step. There's nobody in the middle. So what kind of coverage Gill had? He had him to the outside. There's nobody on the inside, and Charlie Brown made a good cut.
Again, the rookie with good coverage, Gil Bird. Good pattern, perfect pass. First down, Redskins, 30-yard line of the Chargers. Now back to Riggins. John is strong, and he gets up close to another first down. Stiff arm against Gil Bird.
Now you can see they're just grinding them down.
They'll do that. They are so big up front. They make so few mistakes.
They've really been putting a lot of points on the board this year.
Averaging 33 points a game.
All teams have. They're at a record high in points scored per game, in yardage gained per game.
Second down, less than a yard. That's the time remaining in the third quarter. Riggins with a good move. Gets the first down.
Goodness,
I tell you, that was that Mike Green.
That kid's a heck of a linebacker. Now, that's Riggins we've seen run over a lot of people.
You know that hurt Green more than it did Riggins.
Well, he's the kind of guy, he jumped up in a hurry. He doesn't let anybody know it. Riggins comes to the outside. You'll see 58 Mike Green make a cut right there. He got him down.
He got him down, but he sprawled for a couple more.
For a guy who, in your words, is a little long in the tooth, Riggins is indefatigable. He shows no fatigue.
He's amazing. First and 10, the Redskins inside the 15-yard line. They're playing Redskin football here in the second half. Controlled football. And Riggins football. This time, Riggins held to a cover. Lyndon King defensively for San Diego. That's the end of the third quarter. Washington on top 17-7. We'll return for the fourth quarter action after this word from our local stations. And of course, the best the game has had to offer for the past few years, Dan Fouts. Tom Bass, the defensive coordinator, came in last year to organize things, and he really did. He shuffled a whole bunch of folks out of here, brought in a bunch of kids, and said, we're going to go from scratch. Changed over from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Highly intelligent, philosophical sort of a man.
Poet laureate.
And he's watching his defense facing the Redskins with a 2nd down and 8. The ball at the 13-yard line of the Chargers, and the Chargers down 17-7 in a must game. Theismann tries to get it to Washington, incomplete.
Frank, we mentioned earlier that Papa Bear, George Hallis, an octogenarian, died tonight in Chicago at 9:30 p.m. Chicago time. This statement just received from Commissioner Pete Rozelle. George Hallis leaves modern professional football as his memorial. He was the National Football League, its founder, the driving force that sustained it during struggling pioneer years. And there is more. Here's Frank.
3rd down and 8 Redskins. Theismann on the roll. Washington in the corner.
Nice throw.
Tried to get in the end zone. He does not do so, but he gets the first down at the 1-yard line. And Washington so effective out of the backfield.
Quickly finished. The commissioner went on with this. His passing is a loss to the entire American sports scene. It is particularly deep felt by those of us who shared his friendship and benefited from his counsel and support for part of the over 6 decades he personified the National Football League. Commissioner Pete Rozelle on top.
For the Redskins, first down, goal to go. And Riggins works his way into the end zone. The Chargers are saying no, but the strength and the power in those legs have been carrying John Riggins through 12 years of NFL wars. Gets him in. And the Redskins beginning to put this one away. Joe Theismann, and he's known a lot of them, says is the finest young coach he has ever known.
Encourages participation by the team, the individual players. I think that's really a mark of a smart coach, you know. Get all those players involved, and they're going to play for you.
As Joe said, if it's something we think of, we're going to try a little harder to make it work.
Right.
Joe Gibbs knows what he's doing. We'll be back. 85 tough yards, 2 touchdowns. A working night for Riggins. Redskins set to kick off. Deep is under Jackson. Jeff Hayes bangs it. Taken short. This is Miles McPherson. McPherson is really hammered out of the 25-yard line.
This town was the center of baseball activity today. George Steinbrenner, the Yankee owner, as you look there at Big John Riggins, number 44. George Steinbrenner, the Yankee owner, was in town today having meetings with Jerry Kapstein, the gentleman who represents Goose Gossage, and Greg Nettles. Indeed, Greg was talking with me at halftime, and I'll tell you, as both of the men can become free agents, I will tell you what happened in just a moment.
It used to be the agents went to the owners.
Kapstein used to be doing stats for us, too.
Exactly, for 4 years.
First down and 10, the Chargers. At their own 26-yard line, Luther gets the screen to Muncie. Muncie had first down yardage out of the 35 to the 37.
Well, let's see if San Diego can generate anything in return as we look at the stats through the third quarter. There they were at halftime, and Washington had inverted the statistics and surpassed San Diego in yardage. And then in the third quarter, the Washington domination became more pronounced, as you can see. And the turnovers have hurt San Diego.
Typical Washington game. They get tougher and tougher as the game goes on. Picked off again. Fired into the arms of Neil Olkowitz. It was intended for Charlie Joyner, I believe. And Luther almost knocked Olkowitz down.
That's a shot of a man right in the middle of a migraine. The Redskins' defense had produced 21 turnovers coming tonight, so you add 6 more to it. That's 27, and they committed only 6. That doesn't sound right.
Washington, that's correct.
Plus 15 on the takeover, or the takeaway scale.
Well, there's another one. That was a nice throw. Olkowitz was right there.
He really was open.
Yeah. Well, he's improved his routes. I mean, stays out after practice. They work a lot. You got to hand it to a guy like Neal. I mean, if he wants to be a good receiver, you got to work.
First down and 10. The Redskins taking total control now. San Diego's 33-yard line. Riggins pulling ahead to the 30.
Now the whole game is reminiscent of that 1980 Washington defeat of the Chargers, when the Chargers were presumed to be the outstanding team and heavy favorites against Washington.
What was the score of that game? Remember? It was big one. I mean,
it was pretty big.
Riggins got a couple. It was second down and long to Theismann. He puts Monk and Charlie Brown up to the top of your screen. Walker sets in the slot. Theismann rolling out. It's the pass off, and that, boy, you wonder when a quarterback goes down, totally off balance. Theismann pops back up, though. He's okay. Incomplete. It'll be third down and 8.
He's elastic.
Was that Green? I didn't see who hit him over
Green was one of them.
It was either Green or was it, I guess it was Green.
Ken Green, the free safety.
Lowe was taking him on the outside, and that's...
Boy, he's off balance there.
That was Green.
A good way to lose his shoulder, but Joe Theismann is not only a good quarterback, he's a good athlete. We watched him perform in Superstars, and he can do a lot of things well. And he can get himself out of trouble physically, and he just did. Third down and 8. Washington, Giaquinto are in the lineup for the Redskins. Theismann, great move by Charlie Brown, and just off the line was Theismann.
He had to release that a little earlier, I think, than he would have liked, Frank. He got Big Hands Johnson that came in there. And Will Watts. Then Charlie Brown put a little move here. Yeah. Gill says, I've seen that in college, but I just can't keep up with you. Ball was a little bit out in front of him.
Mosley, who hit from 43 yards out earlier, on now for a 47-yard attempt on fourth down. Theismann, the holder. High snap.
Yep.
Off to the right. And that center and the holder are so important. The snap was high. Theismann got it down, but the attempt was wide. As you can see, they are doing a little work here. They're going to expand it. It'll be first down and 10 for the Chargers under the direction of Ed Luther, with Dan Fouts unable to go tonight. Ed Luther, with his last 4 possessions, has produced 4 interceptions. That is not Eric Hoyel.
The little kid says, why would somebody put me in this outfit?
Chargers from their own 30-yard line. Luther dropped the football and it's loose. Charlie Mann got in there first, and the Redskins are going to get it back. Somebody just knocked it out of his hand. And the Redskins have the football back. Recovered by Todd Liebenstein.
As this game disintegrates totally, let me finish the baseball news. George Steinbrenner has till 9 o'clock Pacific time Thursday night to sign Goose Gossage and Greg Nettles under the baseball rules. Forget the replay for the moment, but I can tell you that Goose Gossage will not sign. He will become a free agent and test the waters with as many other clubs as show an interest. But there is a possibility of Nettles being signed. Greg's terms remain to George.
Charles Mann got the hit. Liebenstein got the turnover. That was the 6th turnover, I believe, on the night.
I think 7.
7 turnovers.
Yeah.
The Redskins are on top of their game because they live by that. That was John Riggins over the left side.
You know, you throw a lot of interceptions as a quarterback, and you go back, and somehow that arm freezes, and it just doesn't want to throw anymore. You just feel a little bit off, and he looked like he just held it a little bit long, and somebody knocked it out.
Really is an attitude a quarterback has got to have.
Yeah, you got to throw that ball.
Throw it up there. Somebody will catch it, like Okowitz.
That's right.
Second down and 9. Wiggins. Ooh, he punishes.
What a hit.
Only got a couple of yards out of it. He hit Ken Green.
Ken Green
What a
feels
blow.
that, I'll tell you.
Washington, Giaquinto back in. Washington. Well, they're playing it a game at a time, but you've got to be thinking that they're thinking about December the 11th. And that is their second meeting with the Dallas Cowboys. They've never lost a game this year on Sunday. They've only lost it on Monday night. The Dallas in the opener, and then the Green Bay.
By a total of 2 points.
They're down long for Theismann. Washington, I think, a little confused on that. Oh, batted away.
Good defensive coverage by Gill that time. He didn't. He had a long time to throw. Yeah, he rolled out. Had time to throw. That was good
Here's
defense.
Mosley again. He's 2 in his last 8. So he's in a slump. Hiya, fella.
I'll tell you, coming into tonight's game, he had missed from 39, 31, 35, 36, 43, 42. And he's struggling tonight. This will be an attempt. He has never missed 4 in a game.
He has
career.
now.
And Mosley has a career mark. The man who set an NFL record of 23 consecutive field goals a year ago is struggling this year. But he's got a lot of help from his friends. They're on top 24-7.
Forward, and as a result, the ball also flies forward. Now you make the call. Is it a pass or a fumble? The arm is moved forward as a result of the defender's impact, and not from a passing motion. It is a fumble, not a pass.
Said when he came back for this year, if we don't repeat as world champions, it won't be my fault. And he's living up to those words.
Mosley didn't say that, did he?
No, Mosley's got a problem. He's beginning to think.
Well,
I
you hate
watched
to
our
see that.
telecast last week.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Maybe it's infectious.
Well, Mark, you know, there's an old philosopher on his team, Joe Washington. He says, now look, Mosley, he says, remember this. If you sail long enough, you're going to run into rough water. He said, that's what you're going through right now, rough water.
San Diego now has turned it over on their last 5 possessions. 4 interceptions and a fumble. This is Muncie. And Muncie, class football player, out over the 40. First down, San Diego, near the 42-yard line.
21 yards.
It appeared that Vernon Dean injured his arm or whatever it was. He'd hurt again. Good opening up here. You see Dean 32 come along, take a swipe right there. He caught a knee with his arm. But look at Muncie maintain that balance. I do enjoy watching Muncie play.
Muncie will get a little bit of a breather. And we will watch Sherman Smith. We're in the 4th quarter, a little more than 10 minutes remaining to be played.
No, look out, boy.
Luther tries to get it to Chandler. Good coverage, Gerald Green. He was all over.
I tell you, we've got these greens are all over the field tonight, aren't we? And 28 on Washington this green. Pardon me?
There were a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's Ken.
There's Mike.
Darrell. There's Mike.
Yeah, they're out there. Green is beautiful.
Second down and 10. Muncie back into the game for San Diego. San Diego had high hopes for tonight, even though they didn't perhaps have the personnel to pull out what they wanted to do, because they play the Raiders 2 more times this year. They play Denver 1 more time. They could have got back into their race tonight. Luther brings it up, and Holohan comes down with it. First down, San Diego, near the 23-yard line. He was dueling Curtis Jordan, and Holohan, the former Notre Dame star, makes the catch.
Got Mel Kaufman coming back from his linebacker position in there, too. Holds this ball again. Ed's looking at that same guy all the way through. You see Kaufman dropping back to try to cover it. Good comeback move in there by Holohan.
That's not even being respectful, covering Pete Holohan, who was a tight end, but was a wide receiver at Notre Dame, covering him with a linebacker.
But notice the speed of the linebacker Kaufman and hanging in there with the receiver.
First down, 23-yard line of the Redskins. Muncie swarmed on. Big Dave Butts rolling out there.
You know, we haven't given
Charles Mann, the rookie out of Nevada at Reno.
I would give Dave Butts or Darrell Grant a lot of calls tonight, but those are the kind of guys, they anchor that middle in there, and they're in on a lot of tackles. And you have a way of missing them because the linebackers are the ones that are kind of coming in there, but they've been clogging up some holes pretty well.
Hard to miss them, too, because they're rather large folks. Dave Butts, 6'7", 295. Darrell Grant, 6'1", 275. Loss of a yard, a second down and 11.
Throw it, Nancy, throw it.
Pass. Now this is Sherman Smith. He tried to get it back to Keller Winslow, but there were 3 Redskins with him, headed by Monty Coleman, who has great speed.
That was the play that Sherman fumbled when they were about to move in for a touchdown. Remember, Frank?
Didn't work much better this time.
Nope, it didn't. But at that point, San Diego could have taken a 14-7 lead.
He throws this one a little further than he did the other one. That's Kaufman at 55, applying most of the pressure right there. Monty Coleman came in.
And Perry Brooks, third down and 11.
Well, they'll keep trying it till they get it right.
I tell you, that's the way you get. That's the way perfection is achieved in this league.
Luther is back. Luther, yeah, shot, touchdown. Holohan. Pete Holohan.
That was a well-thrown ball. Yes,
it was.
That went right on the money.
I'll tell you, it was pretty heady, too, because Luther has a tendency with his mobility to run. He would not have perhaps got the first down. He had an opportunity to run to close to first down yardage, but he spotted Holohan opening up, and he knew he had to get it. Holohan, his first career touchdown. That's the second touchdown pass for Ed Luther. Banushka is on to try and shorten the lead. Chargers have drawn to within 10. And in years past, 10 points would be nothing for the Chargers, but they are not in the same gear that they have been operating under for the past few years with Dan Fouts.
He got Kaufman again on Holohan. He looks back, took the wrong angle. Holohan stood in there, got himself a touchdown.
8:41 remaining in the fourth quarter. Of the game, the Chargers, perhaps thinking onside kick. And that was little or not effective at all, as Nick Giacquino with the good hands was up there right at the 50-yard line midfield for the onside kick. Doesn't work for the Chargers, and the Redskins have great field position right on the 50-yard line. Side kick fails for San Diego. Bill Gibbs, I think, reading the mind of his former mentor. Don Coryell had the good hands, people up there. Giacquino was all over it. First down and 10 for the Redskins midfield. Theismann, Art Monk. Monk making contact with Gifford, but also picking up the first down.
They go right back to work. It's almost automatic. High percentage passing, ball control, chew up the yardage.
Yeah, at this point, go to work on the clock. You do that with the big man, John Riggins. Muncie, not expected to see that much action tonight. An inspiration to the Chargers in the first half. Not that effective here in the second half. First down and 10. The Redskins have the ball. The Chargers 39-yard line. Riggins, well, he's hammered.
That Green is all over the place, isn't he? Yeah, there's a.
He might not be next week.
That's right.
Collisions like that.
And that is.
Gonna have a sore body.
Practice, practice, practice. The Redskin offense, I like this little stat. They've started a drive in their opponent's territory 26 times this season. And the other teams in the league average only 14 drive starts in enemy territory. And in those 26 possessions, Washington has scored 15 touchdowns and 5 field goals. That's taking advantage of the situation.
Second down and 9.
Yeah.
Theismann, Rick Walker. Another high percentage pass.
And Green is over there again. I'm telling you, he's covered the ground today.
He's playing in place of Tim Fox, who was injured a few weeks ago. Like the Chargers playing without both of their regular safeties. Tim Fox not in the lineup. Bob Greger, the strong safety, he's been out for 3 weeks. Very young secondary.
And they can't figure out Gregor's absence. It's a troublesome knee. They expected it to be healed 2 weeks ago, and it's not healing.
3rd down and 5. Giaquinto motions left. Theismann with a lot of time and a lot of accuracy gets it to Giaquinto. He bobbled the ball, got it touched firmly again, and gets the first down near the 16-yard line of the Chargers.
It's incredible the way he makes those 3rd down plays.
That's
I'll say he had all the time in the world from that offensive line at that point. They're doing a great job
true,
tonight.
Frank, but the guy is sharp.
Oh, of course he is.
We've seen him throw that particular pattern about 3 times tonight, and in those 3rd and 5 situations. And you've got Giaquinto, as Frank has mentioned, who is a terrific receiver coming out of that backfield. He's got up a little head of steam because he's in motion. Hard to cover him down there.
First down, give it to Big John. Big John dances back to the inside. He would have lost a couple had he continued outside, but he saw a little bit of an opening. He gets inside the 15. He gets himself a couple of yards. Ken Green again defensively, and Ken Green is going to need his own personal whirlpool.
But, you know, that's really kind of when he's making all of those doggone, you're about right. But the party's never over. You got a scoop. It's over. I just haven't sung yet. That's all. I was going to talk about something, too, but I forgot what it
slipped your mind.
Slipped my way. I forgot what it was.
That happens later on.
Yeah, I was on a good one there for a while.
2nd down and 8. Riggins looks back inside. Flags down.
That'll stop him.
As Riggins gets to the 11-yard line. Billy Ray Smith defensively. And the Redskins are going to pick up another holding call. I think that must be their 4th of the night.
6 minutes, 8 seconds left in the game.
Brett Silva.
Offense,
Giving you the
number
word.
68. Holding. 2nd down.
Grim's got a couple tonight. Wide World of Sports coming back on Saturday. The World Gymnastics Championships. Now that's the last major meet before the Olympics next summer. Always exciting. Motorcycle racing. And of course satellite coverage of the Dublin Mile. Eamon Coughlin going home. The indoor mile record holder. Wide World this Saturday, returning. Theismann on the night, 19 of 36, 250 yards, 1 touchdown, and he hates it, that 1 interception. 2nd down and 20. Theismann will go down in the arms of Lyndon King, scurrying around back there. He almost got loose. But Lyndon King picks him up on the blitz, and the Redskins now, who were down close to the 15-yard line. Actually, they were at the 11-yard line with their first down, have been backed up now to San Diego's 35 as San Diego struggles to stay in this game, trailing by 10 points with less than 6 minutes remaining to play. Hard to tell whether those numbers will hold up for Joe Theismann, who came into tonight as the NFL's leading passer. Chargers have played him tough, particularly in the first half. Theismann throws it into the ground. Good coverage on Joe Washington out of the backfield. Carlos Bradley was in there in the pass defense for San Diego. Jeff Hayes comes out. Mark Mosley breathes a sigh of relief. And Wes Chandler drops for San Diego.
And I don't think Jeff will be running with this one.
No.
That's a good heady move by, I tell you, really impressed by Joe Gibbs. One thing that could go wrong for them, and it could be a blocked field goal, and when you go for a long one, you can get a block easily. So he brings out Jeff Hayes. Jeff Hayes hits that funny kind of a squibber that Chandler
Did that guy
misses at the 7 and is down by the Redskins. Monty Coleman at the 1.
I thought he touched it. If he touched it, surely he didn't. That wouldn't happen in San Diego.
If he touched it, it would be a muff.
It's a
and
muff,
it would have been
rule.
the Redskins' ball at the 1-yard line, but apparently he did not.
Down on the 1-yard line, a 34-yard punt.
I'll tell you, that's good coverage. And Jeff Hayes, who has shown some exceptional running skill tonight, breaking off a big one to set up a Redskins touchdown, has hit another one.
Monty Coleman
I think he was mighty. He went right through his hand.
He tried to touch it.
Sometimes it's not easy.
Well, the attempt doesn't make you guilty. The Chargers are 99 yards away. Strange world, and often the people who return kicks have strange things happen to them.
No, he didn't touch it. I believe it now.
He tried to, but he just didn't quite
That
get
ball
over
had, it looked like a knuckler. It really did. It is a kick that Jeff Hayes works on.
But why would he try to down that?
Well, trying to get back in the game, I guess. Luther, Chandler comes down close to a first down. I think he has it. Out near the 12-yard line.
Guy's got pretty eyes.
What did he tell you, Don, that he might
No, he didn't. That was
be a
kind
while
of,
coming back?
they just haven't given him any definite answer. He said anywhere 2 weeks to a month, but he says you really can't tell until that 2 weeks or month kind of rolls around.
The worst kind of injury a pitcher can receive, the rotator cuff.
That's the
And
first.
in effect, Fouts is a pitcher, Frank.
It's the first game that Fouts missed last week after starting 67 in a row. He's been a tough competitor.
Look at this, wide open.
Chandler is open. In between the zone defense, Chandler to midfield for San Diego first down.
We have 5 minutes, 7 seconds left to play.
And you know, with Dan Fouts at the helm, we've seen it happen many times. It would be nothing but excitement up here because you know how quickly they could come back.
Tony Washington, number 24, just didn't take a very good drop after he kind of shoved Chandler out to the outside. And Chandler just turned it up with his speed, fit himself right into position for a nice reception.
It's hard to say. It's not the same feeling with Ed Luther in there that we've had over the years with Dan Fouts, who could spark this team to so many points so quickly. Luther sidearms, and Joyner to the 27-yard line. First down, San Diego.
The man is throwing the football now, and there's no quitting this team.
Hope Charlie's not hurt. He's just getting up slowly, Charlie Joyner.
He's grabbing at a hamstring. It looks as though he'll stay in, however.
He's had several little nagging injuries, but Coryell says, man, it's hard to keep him out. He just stays in there.
Ed Luther, thus far, 18 of 32, 287 yards, 1 touchdown, not bad numbers, but 5 interceptions. Not good numbers. First down at the 27-yard line of the Redskins. The Chargers down by 10 points. Luther, touchdown zone shot. Touchdown.
All right.
Wes Chandler.
Well,
27-yard shot, and the Chargers come roaring back. They have 4 minutes and 13 seconds.
27 yards on the pass completion.
Boy, those were quick
Luther.
strikes. A long one to Chandler.
Chandler.
He came back
Chargers,
to Joyner, and he has just hit Chandler in the end zone. And Chandler, who we told you had the bruised kidney last week in Denver, was questionable all week. Was slow getting up.
Here. That's the way to go. He's out there. I tell you, the ball is
Boy, this is a graceful receiver.
thrown with some zip. Working on Green over there.
Gave him a little look outside, Don, turned it up, and Green was left.
Look at his ability to get up in the air and catch that ball. He's not a tall fella either. That's the way to go, Ed.
he is a great athlete.
Now we wonder about the possibility of the onside kick. 4 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the game. If Fenercia is successful, the Chargers will have brought it to within 3.
Can you believe they went 99 yards so quickly?
A big one to Chandler, a nice one to Joyner, and the touchdown shot to Chandler.
And start off up the top of your screen. You've got Chandler. He's going to run a little out and up. Luther had a little pressure in the pocket, and great concentration by that receiver.
Really was. And a great move to the outside. Gerald Green went with it all the way. Touchdown San Diego, and they're back in it. They're in a long line of acrobatic catches by this man, Chandler. And Wes is hurting. We told you about the problem he had in the Denver game, a severely bruised kidney. We don't know if that has been re-injured. And they're going to look at another onside attempt, or at least they faked it. Tried to drop it down deep. And that ball stayed in and was fielded by Nelms. And he is going to go down inside the 10. And San Diego is fired up. They faked the onside kick. Redskins moved up. Only Nelms was deep. He thought it was going to go out of bounds. It did not. This is grass, not artificial surface. He fielded the ball, tried to get it out of inside of his 5-yard line. He did that, but only to the 6.
It's Halloween.
Yeah, and now it's defense time for San Diego, because they could easily, with Panerski, if they can get the ball back and get field position, tie it.
The Redskins, they've had their treat. Now they're looking at a San Diego trick. They're coming back. Riggins, he'll be the workhorse to try to give Theismann some room. Now, he's not afraid to throw it down here. Goes out to Garrett.
And that defense swarms in this game, which had apparently disintegrated early in this quarter when the score was 24-7. And then Mosley failed again on a place kick. Suddenly, with no quitting the San Diego team, they've come back.
That was Charlie Brown on the receiving end.
Don't you think one of the keys was Luther's use of his mobility? 3 quick.
That sidearm shot to Joyner.
Yep.
Was a beauty. Charlie Brown got about 4, second down and 6. This crowd is really into it. Riggins left side. He'll do nothing out there. Pursuing defense headed by Andre Young from the strong safety position. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Well, Theismann's got a big one now.
Riggins shaking his head. He wanted to take that off tackle behind Jacoby and Grimm. There was nothing happening there, and the Chargers defense, good pursuit all night long. They're young, starting 4 rookies. They're light up front, 255, 254, 241. That's their 3 down linemen and their 3-4.
Same pass he's completed to Giaquinto. This time he goes deep.
Theismann under pressure. Giaquinto broke it off on him. I think he thought he could break it deep. Theismann didn't read it with him. And the Chargers are going to get this ball back in good field position.
You know, that ball was almost intercepted.
So Jeff Hayes steps into his end zone. And James Brooks, for the first time tonight, will drop as the punt receiver. A dangerous return man. Again, Brooks is in. He's playing on what really is the season for the Chargers on a bad ankle and a pulled hamstring. They're pulling it all out now.
What a nice punt.
Hayes, high, towering kick. Brooks wanted a fair catch and changed his mind.
Got some room.
He's got it set up. Brooks, almost within field goal range. He is, as a matter of fact. Jeff Hayes had to make the stop at the 30-yard line, and the Chargers have come back.
They have come back against a team that one wouldn't think you could come back against. It's been an incredible display.
It was terrifically set up by the Chargers. Brooks didn't do anything but just take nothing fancy, just take off to his left. He had some good blocks, and Frank called it. Hayes was the guy that made the final stop.
I mentioned a stat earlier. The Redskins cover their punts so well. In their past 24 games, they've only had 5 punts brought back 10 yards or more. And Brooks has just put San Diego already within field goal range as Muncie tries the left side. Darrell Grant swarms there, but Muncie gets about 3 to bring up 2nd and 7.
See him holding on to that ball. They were going after it, too.
We have 2:45 and the clock is ticking away. As you can see, that remains in the game.
That's a long 2:40 and counting down from where they are. I'll tell you, they got plenty of time, Gifford.
And, of course, the Chargers have one of the high percentage field goal kickers in football today, Ralph Panerski. 2nd and 7, Muncie trying to get outside, working with his own man as the Redskins stack it up.
And off the truck, Muncie.
Good defense there by the Redskins.
NFL kickers have made 72.4% of their field goal attempts this year. Never in the history of the league has it been more than 70%. And only 5 years ago, field goal kickers, I like this stuff, 58%. See, I got that.
That was a gain of a yard. We got the 2-minute warning. We have a 3rd down and 6 for the Chargers. Dan Faust right in the middle, talking it over.
All right, let's take a look at what the Bills did against the Saints yesterday. We pick up second quarter action, and Joe Ferguson was the leader. Had a fine day, 4 touchdown passes. 7-0 Buffalo. Ferguson, play action fake passes to Tony Hunter, the rookie tight end from Notre Dame. This man destined to be a superstar, and this is why. All the way downfield, cutting back in, touchdown, 14-zip Buffalo. On the Bills' very next possession. Once again, Joe Ferguson, play action fake. This time, he will pass to number 88, Mosley, and that's a 22-yard touchdown, and Buffalo went on to win 27-21.
Meanwhile, back at live action, we've got a live one. Right now, San Diego, taking advantage of the 2-minute warning, has talked it over on the sidelines. Ed Luther's brought the play back in. This man on the spot if they are unsuccessful in getting the first down. And it is 3rd down and 6, the ball at the 26-yard line of the Redskins. Should they fail on a pass attempt, and it isn't necessarily so that they will go with the pass, because they have a great deal of confidence in Benerska, but from this point, the line of scrimmage, Benerska would be kicking from about 42 yards out.
Top of that screen, you got man-to-man.
Pressure, and Luther has to dump it off, and we will see Ralph Benerska. And for Benerska, he's 8 of 15 for the year. His best was at Kansas City. He has plenty of distance. He had a 51-yarder earlier this year. That was the winning margin over Kansas City. Luther, of course, is the holder. Andy Gissinger provides the snap. And Benerska sets up 8 yards deep, so we have a 44-yard attempt. This to tie it up. Possibly put it in overtime. We have tied it up, and the Chargers, and boy, they deserve all the credit in the world. They have battled back.
You believe this?
They've turned it over 7 times tonight, and with 1:52 remaining in the game, we're tied at 24.
Weird things happen on Halloween.
Don Coryell's headache has disappeared. He's right out there in the huddle with his team.
Well, you know, you said it boils down. If they lose tonight, they've lost 6 ball games. Way to go, Rolf.
If they win tonight, they will stay within 2 of Denver and the Raiders. They are at 6 and 3. And as I mentioned a couple of times tonight, San Diego plays the Raiders twice more. We'll cover one of them for you on Thursday night. That one, December the 1st. And they also have Denver once again. So they can be their own master. Ed Luther, 5 interceptions on the night. He got a little hesitant, as Don pointed out, in the 3rd quarter, but he came back, and the Chargers took it at their 1-yard line. He moved around the pocket, hit Chandler for a big one, came back, hit Charlie Joyner, and then hit Chandler for the touchdown. And Benerska is now hit from 44 yards out to tie it up. Mike Nelms. Flag is down as Nelms hurdles out over the 25-yard line. 1:47 on the clock.
Clipped by number 71.
Charlie Mann.
Charlie Mann.
Yeah, that hurts, too, because as we watched the Redskins up in Green Bay a couple of weeks ago, they got in this situation late in the game, and Theismann, with very judicious use of Joe Washington and John Riggins, got them back into field goal position to win that one, and Mosley missed that one from 39 yards out.
We saw the San Diego defense last time Washington was in this situation rise to the occasion. 3 downs, and they punted. Got good field position.
Charlie Mann, guilty for Washington. 1:47 timeouts. The Chargers have 3 and the Redskins have 3.
On the run back, holding Washington, defined, illegal block in the back above the waist on number 71, accepted. It'll be first down.
And it'll be inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. This year in 3 Monday night games, Washington on Monday night has given up 102 points. 69 in the second half. That is highly unusual for them. Theismann, that one batted away.
I'll tell you, they
almost
can't...
picked off by Lyndon King.
Right. They can't risk that again. That was the ball game right there.
He did have Art Monk open had he been able to miss Lyndon King. Quick drop back. Joe's kind of zeroing in on one target right now. You'll see Lyndon King make a good move right there.
Lyndon King had been thinking interception rather than knocking it down. That was a 6-pointer. Second down and 10. Washington and Giaquinto. The 2 pass receiving setbacks are in. Draw play, Washington. And he is hammered. First there, Gilbert.
It's got to be Green coming around there somewhere, though.
Green made sure.
He's had a heck of a game tonight, hasn't he?
This entire San Diego defense, we have said over and over how young they are, how relatively light they are up front, has played superb football tonight. And that is not the long suit of the Chargers defense. Third down and 8. Joe Washington, and he is held short of the first down.
He did not get it.
Depends on where they mark it.
It'll be a marked job, and they now have marked it up, but looks like very close to the 19-yard line.
It was.
That's where he had to be.
It almost seemed that he had it and then almost took a little step back.
I don't think he got it.
No, they just indicated. They're not even going to measure. Crowd doesn't like that at all.
I think they decided they are going to measure.
Well, now they brought it back, but they were fairly confident he had already made it.
Almost had a good charge right in the middle. Washington hooked up.
He came back with the ball on his own motivation.
Yeah, but he did make a little surge right there. We'll see. That was Danny Walters, number 23.
All right, they give it to him. Well, they marked it.
Now he made it.
Big first down for the Redskins. They have 1:04 remaining. 2 timeouts. And Bill Theismann. The Redskins are looking right into the teeth of overtime.
And I was going to say, he still has to be relatively careful down there, Frank, on the 20-yard line. The passes that he's going to call, not that they're going to call them too risky anytime, but I would look for the kind of a little turn in. Of course, with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go, you say, well, let's go to the sideline. However, with 3 timeouts, and just trying to get in a field goal position to let Mosley have another shot at it, they might try to come back down in the middle, use those timeouts. He moved it very well before the half, we saw. Picked up 3 points. Joe Gibbs has got something on his mind over there.
Set to go. And almost this entire stadium is on its feet. And they're chanting defense. Giaquinto in motion. Theismann. Monk is there, and he holds on out of the 43-yard line as we're inside 1 minute. Ken Green again defensively. Theismann hurrying the offensive unit up to the line of scrimmage.
Might have even used the timeout there. He's got 3.
He's got 2.
There he does.
Charlie Brown in a collision over on the right side with Danny Walters. That ball totally uncatchable.
That was some catch by Ott.
That really was.
Holding on to that after that hit. He is a great athlete.
That pass to Charlie Brown, he would have tried to get it in. If we go back and look, Monk's
There's the catch again, and watch this hit.
Ball was not thrown well.
Nope, thrown behind him. He made the turn, kept the ball, got the hit, and retained the ball.
As Andre Young, 49, who made a hit, but the ball was thrown behind Monk. That was a good job of adjusting.
Theismann killed the clock with 42 seconds with that attempt to Charlie Brown. It's 2nd down and 10. That's Charlie Brown, and he has another 1st down at the 42-yard line. I don't think they'll use it yet. Heading towards 30 seconds. This will be a pass out to the left or the right to kill the clock. And a flag is down as one of the Redskins was moving.
Charlie Brown looked like.
The clock has stopped with 25 seconds. And realistically, now you have to go back and consider what Mosley has done on the night. He has missed from 43, 52, 47, and 39. He's been successful at 39. And as you can see, the penalty is against the Redskins, and I'm sure the Chargers will take it. They want to back them up as far as they can. Down will remain the same. That could be academic.
The entire offensive team was not set. The illegal motion. 1st down.
So it'll be 1st down, 15. Theismann has 2 timeouts. 25 seconds remaining in the game, and of course we're tied at 24. Theismann looking for Washington. He pulls it off the turf, steps out of bounds at the 39-yard line with 19 seconds remaining.
That was a remarkable catch, too.
I was just going to ask Frank, is there a tougher catch for a receiver than those down there around your shoestrings?
Yeah, the one Monk made a short while ago.
Yeah, that one.
But this is a great effort, and Joe Washington just beats in so many ways.
And keeps his balance after him.
Absolutely.
Don't be surprised if Theismann goes looking for Washington again. He needs to get Josh closer. Mosley does not have the long leg. Charlie Brown is inside the 25-yard line, and now we'll get a timeout from the Redskins. They have 1 remaining, and Theismann has really moved this football team.
You see Charlie Brown extend those arms to get every possible placement from the official. Theismann talked today about the intelligence level of his team, and you look at it again.
The bottom of the screen, you can see Charlie Brown. He's going to do kind of an end route. Little move right there. Came back around. Joe's got some time to throw. Charlie comes in across the middle. Ball's thrown right in there. How long did you say his arms were?
72 inches.
72 inches. He got 72 more inches out of it.
Well, he didn't get all of that, but now the strategy being played out is rather interesting. I know with Mosley, and he has been rather erratic for the past few games. They are thinking, let's get it closer, right?
That's right.
They have 13 seconds. They have 1 timeout remaining. Something may be short, even over the middle. Plenty of time to get Mosley right in front of the uprights, get him in close, and win this thing in regulation.
42 yards away right there, Frank. So that's certainly not what they say, the old chip shot.
No, as I mentioned, he's missed tonight from 43, 52, 47, and 39. And on the minds of the Redskins was another miss from 39 yards. A couple of weeks ago against Green Bay, that would have pulled that out for the Redskins. So it's not been Mosley's year, even though he had that sensational year last year, setting the NFL record of 23 consecutive field goals.
Well, you just saw a shot of Dave Butts a moment ago, number 65, with his arm around Mosley, trying to encourage him. There's Dave in the picture now.
Mark's been there a long time. He knows what the pressure is like. 1st down and 10, 13 seconds remaining, 1 timeout for the Redskins. Monk is in motion. Inside handoff to get those few extra yards. And 9 seconds now remains.
Here's this
We'll get Mosley. The final timeout has been used, and Mark Mosley will come out. It should be a kick of about 36 yards. But again, Mosley coming into tonight had made 17 of 23, but he had misses earlier with 39, 31, 35, 36, 43, 42. So this is not in the bank.
I'm just really, it's nice to see it. But the Chargers seemed to me they were going to be out of this thing. Then it was just, you kept saying, well, when are they going to finally close the gate on them? And they just never did close it. And, of course, Mosley, as Frank's pointed out, if you'd kicked any one of the 4 that he's already missed, they may have been out of it.
Well, should Mosley make it, it'll be a heartbreaking defeat for this gritty San Diego team.
That really is the truth. They have played great tonight without Dan Fouts. Busted up in the secondary. 37-yard attempt. Again, Theismann does the holding. The center is Jeff Bostic. Very steady in there.
San Diego looks, possibly they called a timeout, did they?
I don't know what that was. The Charger came over the sidelines, and Coryell almost kicked him back out on the field. 37 yards for the ball game.
Right through the middle.
Mosley has kept the Redskins within 1 of Dallas. And a heartbreaking loss with 4 seconds remaining in the game for San Diego. They could have been their own masters with the Raiders and Denver both ahead.
But at the same time, Frank, proof once again of the brilliance of Theismann and his receivers and the way they read one another and the way they operate in an absolute crisis.
This one, there was little doubt about it. It was a high snap. Good job by Theismann to get that ball back down. He's there.
He is a good holder because
Yes.
he had 2 high snaps tonight.
Oh,
And
Mark.
you got to get it down quickly.
He said, that's it. Practice, practice, practice.
Now you need a Joe Cap play. 12 laterals by 11 men.
It'll happen.
Redskins will go 7-2 on the year. They'll remain a game behind Dallas. Next week, they'll be home for St. Louis. Then they'll have 2 on the road against the Giants and the Rams, followed by Philadelphia, Atlanta at home. And, of course, that big meeting with Dallas December the 11th in Dallas. And then they'll close with the Giants. San Diego, well, they'll need a bit of a miracle as they drop to 3-6 on the season. Next week, they'll be at Pittsburgh. Then they take on Dallas right here. Then St. Louis, Denver, the Raiders, Kansas City, the Raiders once again. And on the final Sunday of the season, that last Raider game. Thank you.
Washington, if they grew complacent, it was when they had a 24-7 lead with about 10 minutes remaining.
Ed Luther, 5 interceptions on the night. He stayed alive. He took the Chargers 99 yards. Final stats for Theismann, whose brilliance was shown in that last drive. 25 of 46, over 300 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception, only his 4th of the season.
Timeout with 2 seconds.
Quinto, or Bruce Laird, brother. Chargers trying one desperation. They didn't want the clock to run out. They will try a long pass looking for a defensive foul, hopefully to get it within Benershka's range. They'll hang this one up way down there looking for the defensive foul. A game or half cannot end on a defensive foul, and that's what they're thinking of. And Don Coryell, he's never out of it till he's out of it.
Somewhat intense, isn't he? Nice man.
Interesting, though, and today, we asked him what he did yesterday, and he said he and his wife got together. We asked him if he watched the games yesterday. He said no.
Went up to the mountains and watched the leaves turn.
Of course, he took a projector and 5 cans of film and
Met his wife run some pass routes.
chewed her out, and they weren't exact.
That's a relieved Mosley right there, I'll tell you.
Kickers live in that strange world that is often wonderful and so many times just horrible. Ed Luther says, how far do you want me to throw it down there, Coach?
As far as you can, Ed.
Of course, it plays out on both sides. Joe Gibbs, who worked and played actually under Don Coryell here at San Diego State, right on this very field. He was with him in St. Louis, and he rejoined him again. And Coryell took over here in 1979. He was here for the first record-breaking year that Dan Fouts had, and then he, of course, took over the Redskins in 1980. Longtime friends and associates. The opposing coaches tonight. This is your old Big Ben. The Redskins will not foul, however.
Is that Mark
Picked off Mark Murphy, his second of the night.
That's his third, I think.
Third of the night.
That's
You're right.
his sixth interception by poor old Ed Luther.
And the seventh of the season for Mark Murphy. So a comeback victory for the Washington Redskins. They stay within one of the Dallas Cowboys. A heartbreaker for the San Diego Chargers. They fall to 3-6. Mark Mosley. He made the one that counted. Once again, the final score, Washington 27, San Diego 24. Tonight on Nightline, a talk with TV anchor Christine Kraft, whose victory in a sex discrimination suit was thrown out today, and the latest from Grenada. All tonight on Nightline after your late local news. Our travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines, the official airline of the 1984 LA Olympic Games and the proud sponsor of the United States Olympic team. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.